I got that. You're recording?
Yeah.
He
We're
presses the
live.
record
We're live.
button, and I don't pay attention, and I'm like, oh shit, we're on.
Kenan just put an entire sausage in his mouth from
Yes,
Doghouse,
and I did not choke. So,
Whoa.
Good, yeah.
ladies.
I'm not sure that's for the ladies.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the None of Our Business podcast.
Hey.
We've got a dope host and a dope show and a dope
Wait.
guest.
You said host,
Yeah.
not host.
Yo, let me do
one. There's more than one host here.
You know us.
I officially quit the None of Our Business podcast.
No, real talk. We've got a great guest for you guys today. His name is STF, as far as everyone else is concerned, but I know him as Stefan.
That's right.
Way back in the day. And we got a treat for you because he is a talented musician. And you know, at the end of the show, we like to beatbox and shit.
Yes, and I don't. So.
But I'm going to beatbox at the end of the show, and I'm going to let Stefan just riff if he's into it.
Yeah. I might
Nice.
beatbox a little bit.
Nice. Switch it back and forth.
Okay,
You
and
know.
then I'll freestyle or whatever.
Okay.
And then Kenan can
Just
hold the
camera. I'm
sausage.
just-
Actually, yeah, you could hold the camera.
Yeah, I will. I'll
And
be
we
the
can post
cameraman.
that as the promo. Okay.
We can.
All
Sounds
right,
good.
Cool. So yeah.
So you're hailing from where?
Ooh, hailing from these days,
Yeah.
Glendale,
Hey.
Los Angeles,
Okay.
I
California.
love it.
But I'm
Nice.
coming from, I moved out from Arizona.
Arizona.
Really? That's right.
Yeah, about like
Hot.
13 years
Hot
ago.
in Arizona
Did you go to
right
like
now.
high school in Arizona?
Yeah, I mean, I did most of my, I would say, my academics.
Hey.
Yeah,
Although you went to Musicians Institute though,
I
right?
did. Yeah, right after high school, I moved out here and went to MI.
What can you tell me about that? Because I wanted to go, but I never pulled the trigger on it.
Man, honestly, if I could do it again, I would have gone when I was a little bit better, because it's the kind of school where, I mean,
They
you
reward
can,
people who are already good.
man. Well, the opportunities.
Oh,
There's a lot of stuff that comes through, a lot of auditions, a lot of referral service, and
really
and people that you meet that are like, a lot of people that work there are actively in the business.
Yeah.
So if you get there and you're a complete beginner, I mean, you'll learn stuff, but I would probably recommend going somewhere maybe like I don't know, a little bit more focused on the academics and the fundamentals and whatnot. Like you'll learn that stuff, but at least what I did the 2-year program. It was kind of a fast track.
Okay.
But a lot of the work that I have now, it all stems back to MI. People I met at MI.
I was just going to say.
People, yeah, the network that I made there and the friends that I made there.
People should know, for context, you are a full-time musician.
So you're not doing any part-time work anywhere?
Not anymore. Not anymore. I was about 5 years ago. It's been about 5 years. I don't need any other kind of part-time
Oh, so
job.
you're living off the money you're making as a musician?
Yeah.
You're actually getting paid.
I mean, believe it or not.
What?
Yeah.
That's a rarity in Los
Yeah.
Angeles. Like
Yeah.
a fucking unicorn.
You
getting
came
paid.
to LA with a dream, and look at your ass.
I know. You're here with us on this
Looking
podcast.
like Robin Thicke, Justin Timberlake, and
You
killing
kind of
it.
sound a little bit like Robin Thicke. You got a little Robin
I get
Thicke in
that.
you.
I get that. I mean,
Yeah.
I did listen to a lot of Robin Thicke. I feel like coming up, especially like Evolution of Robin Thicke, the early Robin
that
Thicke
was
stuff,
my fucking album.
I mean, like
dude.
he's still amazing and he still puts out some great stuff, but I feel like that album,
Yeah.
Evolution of Robin Thicke, and if you ask him, I'm sure he
Yeah.
agrees, is like the masterpiece.
Well, maybe we might get somebody else who might agree with that too. Paula, can you come out here?
Paula Patton. Kenan's like, yeah, I've been dating her.
Shit.
That would have been great if she mistaken you as her husband at the time. Like, oh, hey.
Hey, I take. Oh,
I
please,
met him.
Please,
Dude is like
please.
6 foot something tall, big ass hands. I had him sign a copy of the Evolution of Robin Thicke for Mother's Day at the
Are
Grove.
you serious?
Like years
Oh.
ago. And-
This is when you're a
and
security
I
guy.
gave him a demo I made when I was like 15. Dude.
Hey,
oh
man.
my god.
He probably still has
Shameless,
it.
but that's how you got to be, right?
Dude.
Shameless.
So how vicious are you in the music industry? Like, are you just tossing out? Are you like tossing your music out in Venice Beach and all that stuff?
Not anymore, man. I mean, I used to do the whole hustle, and you still got to hustle. Like I'm still relatively an unknown. I can't like act like, oh, I made it, and I'm too good for that stuff. I
Listening
personally
to your
have
music,
found.
though, I would
Yeah.
never assume that because if you listen to his music on Spotify, I mean, I've always been a fan.
That's right. I got to
But like
do
your
that.
shit is like next level.
Because
now.
I wanted
Thank
to
you,
hear
bro.
your original when we were at Perch. This was on Saturday. and Sunday.
Kenan prides himself on knowing artists' original stuff.
material. I don't want to
Okay.
hear cover cover stuff
I appreciate
unless
that.
it's Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, or Van Halen,
Oh, yeah?
things like that. I'll do the covers of those.
Okay.
But for hip hop and R&B, soul, funk, all that, blues and stuff like that. I really want to hear the
You want to hear
originals.
the originals?
Yeah,
I appreciate
You
that,
were
man.
saying,
Thank
though,
you.
sorry, you said the
No,
hustle. You still got to hustle.
Hey,
Well,
we can cut.
Fuck what
we
Keenan
got-
was saying. Yeah, fuck Keenan. No.
Damn.
No,
Damn.
man. I'm just saying, like,
Fuck you, Philly.
you guys go at it. Holy crap!
Yeah, you can
I love
suck
this.
a
This is
It's
great.
like good cop, bad cop. It's more like
know-
bad cop and bad cop.
And yeah,
Batter.
batter cop. Yeah.
Hey.
That's right. That's why my dick's out on the table,
Oh,
not yours.
God. Is the
He does have
table your
wieners on the
dick?
table.
I do.
Mhm.
And it looks delicious.
It's the worst brat.
Let me nibble on this real quick. While
Yeah.
you
Nibble,
while you
nibble,
answer your
nibble
turn.
while I answer your
Well, he
questions.
perfects the technique. We're gonna go ahead and come back to the grind.
All right, Philly. Okay.
You guys are funny.
It's
You
the
guys are
impossible sausage.
You guys are funny, man. No,
He's
I was
gonna
just,
leave. You're gonna leave the. You're gonna walk out.
what were we talking about?
The grind, the hustle.
grind, yeah,
You
the
still
real
got to
hustle.
grind and hustle, like even though you
Yeah.
made it to the level that you have.
No, I mean, absolutely. Like I said, like I'm relatively an unknown, but I just find, right now the music industry is always changing so fast,
Mm.
and a lot of the old school kind of hustling techniques, you're going to be just wasting a lot of time, energy, and resources.
the
doing-
mixtape out of the trunk kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah.
it can still it could still happen. Grassroots grassroots is still the most powerful method, I think.
Sure.
Like how do
Word of
I
mouth.
yeah,
Right,
word of mouth?
right.
How do I get into something? Usually it's a buddy recommends it or somebody
Yes,
that
yeah, yeah.
whose taste I trust recommends it. So
Right,
that's always going to be,
right.
I think, powerful.
But you're talking about
as
like
long as humans are
Instagram,
humans.
Facebook, SoundCloud, YouTube. Like you're talking
Yeah.
about, it needs to be
Yeah.
more digital hustling than.
Well, I feel like because that's definitely more digital, and I used to do a lot of the like get down on the streets with flyers and go to shows and do
Okay.
that thing. I mean, like
Those are fun.
that can work. I feel like I would just, from my experience in the little over a decade that I've been in LA doing music,
Damn.
it feels like that's kind of something you want to do maybe in other markets, other cities, because LA, I'll say this, my friends say this, there's a lot of business, not a lot of music.
Hey.
Yeah.
There's a lot of music business, not a lot of music in terms of like, on any given night, there's going to be a huge artist playing somewhere in LA.
Facts.
So why does somebody want to pay to come see you?
Ooh, he's
you're
dropping knowledge.
And he's bringing up our old stuff with Joe in the podcast. Him wanting to charge $30 for us doing live shows and stuff like
yeah,
that.
Damn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Our,
see, it's
our other
like-
co-host isn't
Yes.
here today. He's in San Francisco.
Okay.
Yes.
He,
Okay.
he builds stages. Like he's doing Outer Lands or whatever.
Okay.
Outside lands.
Outside-
Outer
okay.
lands?
I don't
Outer-
know.
Are you in the music industry,
No,
Philly?
I don't go out.
Do you know it?
I just work all day. I have no life. This is my fun time.
This is. But we had a Quifel Qua,
That's not
Um,
a thing, but okay.
Similar to wiffle ball.
Yeah, so Keenan makes shit up sometimes, but you get what
But
he's saying.
It's the French
It works.
wiffle ball.
It works.
Je ne sais quoi.
Quifel Qua.
Quifel Qua.
He says that with a mouthful of sausage.
Anyway,
Doghouse should be
we-
paying us, man. We're promoting them.
Well, I never said where it came from, Philly.
Oh,
You
well, I
just
did.
gave it the.
We even made a jingle for him.
You did. Now you can get paid. You missed my,
Yeah.
but it was more about the back and forth a little bit. Was I guess he felt that, and I'm obviously
that we could put on a live show and charge people like $30 to
$30
like, talk
for a
shit.
show, and I was like, wait a minute, I pay. I was giving an example that I took him to a Wolf Mother concert, which is a pretty popular band. And they've been going,
Badass band.
and I was at the Roxy, and that was like $25, and just for that one band to do
Exactly.
songs for an hour.
Exactly.
And you're telling me you want to charge more than that for us, who there is a handful of people that know us and like us and stuff like that, but you want to charge more than a lot of these artists that come through town.
Yeah.
Fuck, even comedians. A Bill Burr's ticket was like only $40.
A
something
Bill
like
Burr
that.
ticket?
And that was at the
Exactly.
Forum.
That's
fucking love
amazing.
Bill
I mean,
Burr.
like, you see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Is like
Yeah.
in this town, it's kind of hard to build, a following. Also, just because a lot of places, don't pay bands anymore.
No, they don't.
They don't have the budget that they used to. There's different theories and reasons why that's happened. One reason, not to shit on DJs, but now that DJs cost so much less than a band, places
Very
don't
good
have a
DJ.
problem just hiring a DJ.
Mm.
So if they do hire live music, it's not gonna be a full band. It's gonna be something broken down, like
Okay.
like at Perch or whatnot, like
Right.
Yes.
or just a solo acoustic act or something. But yeah, in that regards, in terms of people, you know, like everybody here is also in the industry, and they're hustling to do their thing, and you know. You can only go see your friend's show so many times, especially when you're trying to do your show.
I don't know, bro.
You know?
I go to your show any fucking day of the
Okay,
week, man.
Phil, you're an exception. You're an exception. I
just love
appreciate you,
live
man.
music.
But,
You know
Yes.
what I
Oh,
mean?
but so that's the thing. Is
We
like,
need that audience here in LA. People who just love and want to see live
but
music.
that's the thing. Is like I feel like
New York has
you know.
a lot of that.
Oh, New York for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. But it's a different culture out here.
Mhm.
You know exactly. Like if you go to like Portland or Austin or like some of these
You'll get-
places,
you'll
you'll
get
get
Have you gone
people.
on a national tour? Like or
not
just
for
like,
my stuff.
like not yet.
Ooh.
Not yet.
We
should
That's
do
what
that.
I'm. That's
We
what I'm
should do
working
that.
on. So
But
if
if
there's any,
anybody's listening,
if
yeah.
anybody's listening and needs an opening act, I'm your guy.
And you can
Well,
get the
I can book
musicians
You need
you.
to know-
together,
I
right?
can book you in LA, but I can't book you in other places except LA or in San Francisco.
No, but that's hey. I'm gonna need that. I
Okay.
definitely want to hit San Fran. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was just asking somebody for what venues should I hit in San Fran.
Really?
Yeah,
Nice.
I only know. I played Slims once with Jack and
Slims
Jack,
is a
but
very popular joint.
I don't think I'd be able to fill that right now. But
yeah.
but maybe if I could open some,
Let's
for
take care
somebody
of
there,
that,
I'd love
But
that.
Yeah.
right across from Slims is Paradise Lounge.
Okay.
And that you can do there.
Okay.
Sad thing is the people who owned it and managed it are not my roommates anymore. So I can't go.
They used to be
But,
your roommates.
Yeah, and it
huh?
was so cool because I even did coat check there a couple times, and I would get in for free. They would give me
Yeah.
like 10,
I would never
give me
let you
10
touch my
tickets to
coat,
hand out.
Keenan. Just look at you.
I wanted to have a comeback, but he like
It was good.
it was,
It was good.
all right.
I caught him off guard.
You got
That's what
it.
it
You
is.
got
The
it.
thing about Joe though was that he was talking about the quality of
Our
our
other
group.
co-host, yeah.
Yeah, our other co-host. He was talking about the quality of our group was like really well and worth $30. But my rebuttal was that
mean,
I've seen artists.
You got to
and
have
acts
that kind of confidence, bro.
Oh yeah, but I've seen acts who were less than 30, 15, 10, some even 5 that I thought were really good. They probably were worth more, but there definitely are people out there who are good, who are paying, who are charging less. I was more of like, for our first show, let's just charge like 10, 15 or whatever. And then if we grow a bigger audience, we can then go up to the 30, 40, whatever.
We have a
something like that.
consistent
Yeah.
audience of
Yeah.
about 60 people, and I love all of them.
Yes.
Every single week they tune
Oh,
in,
yeah.
no matter what.
Mhm.
Oh, you gotta
And
love
we're,
them. You
we're
gotta
like
love
at
them.
8,000 downloads now.
And
total.
and
That's
most
great.
of our people that listen to us are not. I mean, not going
we
to dish
haven't
out there,
paid
but
for any sponsored
yeah,
anything.
but it's because I used to be one of those people, and then I joined the podcast.
Yeah, actually, he came on like the third, fourth episode and just decided to never leave.
All right.
Pretty much. But
You're
see,
stuck with them, huh?
some of that's
It's been a friend for like fucking 20 plus years though. So yeah.
a friend for 1 year, 19 years was just an acquaintance.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
pretty much
yeah.
what it is.
That's how he sees himself.
But it's in the theme of if they are our friends, let's be helpful and like, okay, we're not going to charge an exorbitant amount. And
Coming
even though
back to
we're
what
good-
you said, right?
Yeah.
So you can only come and see your friend's show so much. And if everybody has their own fucking music, right? Because most musicians'
Yeah.
friends are other
Yeah.
musicians.
right, and friends should be telling
absolutely.
people not just because they will tell their own community of friends like, well, they're my friends too. Tell somebody else, somebody that you meet on the bus, somebody.
No, exactly. I mean, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. I just noticed, it's like if we're all hustling and doing this thing, it's like the artists and creatives, we only have so much energy and attention span,
Yeah.
So, and I can't be mad at it. It's just the way it is. And I completely get it because sometimes the last thing I want to do when I get home from a gig or a long day, if I'm doing maybe something on set or something, a lot of times I don't want to go out.
Speaking of which, you
What?
were on Glee, weren't you?
Long time ago.
Whoa.
I
Long time ago.
was.
You
We
were
have a
like
celebrity
20
in
years
the
old.
No,
building.
definitely not.
Ladies and gentlemen,
was-
we have officially got our first celebrity on the podcast. We have now upgraded.
No.
Now we need,
No.
we need to sit up right in front of royalty,
Oh,
man. What are you
sorry,
doing?
Sorry.
If I had some speaking lines, maybe
should've
then,
waxed
roll
my
out the red.
butthole.
Yeah, you should have waxed that shit. But no, I was just, I had a great time doing the show, but
Are you still collecting royalties?
I still am technically.
So
Yeah.
is it the weird royalties was like $1.50 or some shit
No,
like that? Or is
it's-
good?
it's-
It's
I mean,
good?
like,
He said, I don't want to put
I'm not gonna
out
get
there,
it. I'm not gonna get into it, but
Signed an
I'm not
NDA.
mad at it. I'm not mad at
with
it.
no speaking lines.
No speaking lines. I was just, I was in the band scene. So when you watch, if you ever watch any reruns, watch the reruns because that's how I get my royalties.
So is that what's holding you down as far as the music and stuff is like, or do you
No,
make
no.
like equivalent or more singing in LA?
Definitely more, just because that, I mean, at the beginning, you know, like year after year, you know, the royalties kind of go down on that stuff, and that's with most, you know, royalties
Intellectual
for
property,
film and
sure.
TV
Right.
and stuff. But you know how it works is it's just a yearly distribution for that kind of stuff, and whereas, you know, the other months of the year, I'm usually doing whatever it is musically, whether it's session stuff or, you know, live gigs around town or corporate stuff. I'll even do some wedding stuff, like whatever it is
Okay.
through music.
Mm.
You know, I'm
The
still
power of
doing that
music,
grind. That's the
yeah.
thing. It's
Okay.
like, you know, because you guys were saying, oh, you know, you don't have a part-time job. That's great. Now, I still technically will consider a lot of my music gigs work. You know, they're jobs.
It's not you
Okay,
doing
yes,
your
yes,
music.
it's
Your
not
music.
your-
Exactly. You know, like
Yes.
I'm working for somebody's event or something, and you know, my goal when I moved to LA was just live off of music, and you know, I've gotten to that. So that is a goal that I've hit, and I love doing it. I would rather do what I do any day out of the week rather than be in a cubicle or anything like that. I
Right.
just can't. I can't do the 9 to 5. Just like
Right.
it's
Yeah.
not in my nature. But
The Monday Whites.
the Monday Whites. You remember that, Phil?
That's the name of a
Yeah.
song you two did
Long-
together?
No, we haven't worked on anything yet.
It was
okay.
a song that I had with the band way
Oh,
back in the
okay.
day when
Monday
Phil and I first met.
Whites. Yeah, I think that's how it was. Yeah.
Man, your memory is incredible. I didn't even remember that.
Dude,
Yeah,
he'll recite a whole book of Plato and shit like that.
Bro.
Like it's crazy. Yeah.
That noggin.
Yeah, it's a big ass head, dude. You've heard the big head theory, right? All the
I have,
greats
I
have
have.
big heads.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. Mine's growing.
and they give big heads too. Yeah.
I've got two. Wait, what?
Just waiting for him to get that.
I was like, yep.
So what it would be the point, not point of no return, but what would be the official crossover where you realize you don't have to grind anymore? Or do you feel like when you get to this level, no matter what, you still will be grinding for the rest of your life?
No, I mean, I feel like, you know, I'm almost to that point where, you know, I'm doing exactly what I want to do.
Mm.
You know, it's close. It's close. I think once I can sustain myself off of my original project, that's
peak?
really that. I mean, I mean, you know, we all want bigger and better and just like,
Constantly.
you know, more. But
Yeah.
like, you know, if I can just sustain myself and I can have, you know, a decent life on my original project and just create and tour and release music and live off of that and inspire people, that's
The proverbial,
that's for me, that's
proverbial
that's
pop
making it.
star,
Okay.
Yeah, that-
superstar.
And so
Absolutely.
none of the or is a part of it, you know, the award shows, the Grammys.
I would love.
the-
I mean, I would love to
all that.
like spread my music, you know, to the whole world and have
Mhm.
sold out world tours
and you can
all
dance
that
too.
stuff.
Like you're not just like a singer
Oh,
instrumentalist.
shit.
I know you. I've
Okay.
seen you move.
I can move when I want
I
to
see you do
move.
some
When
shit
I
back
want to
then when you brought
move.
the megaphone like out on the microphone. You do some quick like upper rock shit.
You know, yeah, I grew up as a b-boy when I was
Oh,
little. I
okay.
did a lot of breakdancing, and
All right.
I could still probably bust out a windmill and a flare, and
Oh, shit.
not actually
Some
not a
technical
flare, a
terms he's
swipe.
dropping. Okay.
I could never do the flare, but I could do swipes. I could still do swipes.
Okay.
You know, little yeah, exactly.
We'll
a
get
little
you
coffee
some
grinder.
cardboard, you know, we'll lay it out in the
That's what
on
I
the
used to
street.
do. I used to get the linoleum.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I used to bring that to like school dances.
Yeah?
I would walk into the school dance with a
Damn.
linoleum on my shoulders,
Now,
lay it
you're-
down
you're
on the
fi-
floor.
You look young. Are
Yeah.
you old as shit like me? Like, how do you do this?
I'm 89. Are you 89? No, you're.
Oh, I'm somewhere. I was born sometime, but you know,
He
we'll
said, "I'm
talk
not
about
gonna
that
give
some
away
other
my
time.
age."
No, I like
okay,
the
okay,
mystery.
The Hollywood thing, right?
The Hollywood
Okay,
thing. I like
okay,
the
okay.
mystery.
You know what?
Yeah.
Though, speaking of which,
Okay.
I've seen I saw your video for Lookalike, dude.
Yes, sir.
And like that had to have a fucking budget, man.
Bro, that was. I
What,
mean,
did that come out of your pocket or did you have an investor?
No, everything I've done is out of my pocket.
Holy
It's completely out of my
shit.
pocket.
And so
You're
this is
about
like
it.
some like movie. What's his name? The famous director for music videos, for hip hop music videos.
No, I think his name was Duncan or no. Oh, okay. No, I
You know
don't
what?
know. I don't know directors,
Dude,
man. Don't look at me.
Not Johnson. Not
John Singleton
No, that's it.
from Fast and the Furious, right?
Yeah, he's doing that. But I mean, like, there's a famous hip hop director.
What,
Music-
What I can with what I have.
Google it, Keenan.
I
by
would
the way.
like to. Yeah, look it up.
Act like you didn't have technology.
All right. Well, you two are like high in the industry. I thought you would.
I'm not in any
No,
industry,
no.
dude. I'm fucking.
I'm trying to keep up with the kids.
Hey.
Oh, you got
there's
kids?
No,
Oh.
no. Definitely not.
Okay. Oh, you know something interesting, man. Okay, so you're not only a talent, like an artist, whatever, but you also happen to be generally like you're a good looking guy. Like, so girls, how do girls fit into this picture, man? Like, do you find that it's harder as somebody who's like constantly traveling and gigging?
Do they
to
drop
have a
their
relationship?
panties? Do they throw their panties at you on stage?
And
You
you
get
know
a couple-
you can't
Man.
omit names.
Couple
Don't worry,
bras
you
in
know
your eye?
I mean, like I said, I haven't been touring with my project much yet.
Yeah.
I tour with this duo named
Dude,
Jack and Jack.
You play that Maxwell, I know the
And,
panties
uh,
start melting, man.
I mean, shit, at Perch, I almost threw my underwear at you at Perch.
Which
Yeah.
probably would have been bad. I'm glad you didn't do that.
If you did and Phil didn't get it on video, I would have been mad.
Right on the head. It's
Yeah.
like flop.
Oh god,
That would have
No,
been a
Keaton, I
moment.
don't ever want anything from you to plop on my head. No plopping.
No
Oh my
flopping.
god.
That's gonna be the name of this episode.
no-
No,
no-
plopping.
No plopping. I like that.
Oh god. Okay.
No,
I'm
yeah.
Okay.
Don't if you want to skip the question?
No,
you
it's
can,
you know,
but-
it's the thing is
It's a
uh,
stereotype,
it's-
right?
Well,
As
it's
a-
relative though, see,
Oh.
because like you know, I appreciate the
Yeah,
the
yeah.
compliment, Philly boy, but
oh, of course.
you know, it's relative, and I feel like you know, right now I'm not even
Like,
that concentrated on
that idea.
yeah, I mean like
You're too busy.
I mean I'm I
That's what
have
we
to
all
be
tell
I have to be
ourselves,
that
by the
I
way.
mean I know we all tell ourselves that, but no, just like since I started, you know, Steph or yeah, for any clarification, STF you
It's
could
your
ju-
artist name.
yeah,
As
well
in like
it's
Stefan or
it's just Steph
Okay.
because
Oh,
if you
it's
pronounce
Steph.
the F,
Yeah, STF.
you don't need the E.
Hey.
Mind blow, maybe?
Wait a minute.
Steph.
If
Look
you
at Keaton trying
Pronounce
to
the
process this.
ST and then just pronounce the F. You don't need the E.
Because you know his name is Stefan, right? But if you go Steph,
F.
Uh-huh.
if you omit the E, it's STF. So it's actually pronounced Steph.
You start pronouncing it, and then
I
you
don't-
have the letter F.
Keaton
Right,
is
you
having
got
a
it?
hard
But
time.
what's the I don't need the E part?
Well, that's
Is
just
that
the
like a
creativity.
sexual
Well, it's
thing?
like, you know,
Oh.
when somebody like,
I don't
what?
know. I don't know.
No, because
Yo,
at the
take off
beginning,
that E because if you take off if you just put the S and the X, you don't need the E.
Yeah. I
yeah,
thought it
same
was- I
thing,
thought it was- I thought it
same
was
thing.
something like
Phil,
that.
you're quick,
Sex.
He is very quick.
It's the same thing with
Hey,
Steph.
that's not
He's-
true. Don't tell that to the
All
ladies.
the ladies say that.
I'm very quick.
Oh, the name of the director I was thinking of is Spike Jones
Oh,
Spike Jones,
and
yeah,
Hype
yeah.
Williams.
Hype
Okay.
Williams.
Yeah, you said Williams.
Yeah,
You said
yeah.
Williams, Phil.
So that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Of. Way to bring it all back. But there is a stereotype of great singers who play the guitar, the front man. A lot of the ladies are all about
I
that.
started all of those legends.
Right? Oh, man.
and I
some-
can't even play guitar.
And he'll get some dudes too. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know, it happens.
He get Philly
You get
takes
the right
all
beer?
kinds. The right beer. How many drinks?
The
Philly?
Greeks,
Three?
you know,
Three?
go back to the Greeks, man.
Are you a 4-drink dude? A 4-drink dude? Is that
I'm a zero drink. You know I don't drink, man.
He used to though.
Yeah.
For real?
Back in the
Well,
day.
yeah. Well,
Used to
yeah,
put him
it's
down?
not about me, but the other co-host, he's my cousin, right? And I look just like him. So
By the
Okay.
way, fuck Joe. Fuck him.
fuck him in his
And
busy
his-
ass.
Yes, he's out there living up in San Francisco.
I want you
He
guys
can
to meet,
suck
man.
a fat dick, and we love him.
Whoa. Is it gonna be yours? Hey,
Hey, you never know.
You guys are crazy.
No, yeah. So I was using his ID when I was like 14,
All right.
and he's like 21 at that time, and so because he's that much older than me, and so like by the time I was 17, dude, I'd already gone to like every club, every bar. I just like I need to focus on school, man.
Wait, you know this is going on the air.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Well,
Yeah.
it's not illegal.
Nobody-
Well, it is illegal. But
Can I get in trouble for that?
It depends because the statute
No.
of limitations is I think 7 years.
The California state law, not to
Mhm.
be confused with federal CA, which is an actual entirely different legal entity.
But your thing might transfer
has-
over to federal.
No, because anything from the past you can't be held legally liable for in California if it's something like that. Like if you know it's a crime that clearly happened, like you know it's like with what's his name, Epstein and shit like that. It's
Yeah.
different. But if it's like something like that, that's like nobody can hold you for a fucking parking ticket that never happened, kind of thing. It's
Right,
no, they
right,
take
right.
it-
There's no
there's-
actual
yeah.
proof of you going to the club.
Unless you
Exactly.
say it and admitted it on record that you did
No,
do it.
because I plead the fifth.
after.
Besides, there's no face recognition to this shit.
We post ourselves on fucking Instagram.
I'm gonna leave that in there and be the biggest outlaw. Actually, according to my 23andMe, I'm genetically related to Jesse James, the outlaw.
Bro.
That's fucking crazy.
That's pretty cool.
Somewhere on my mom's side of the family, that's like
Fuck Jesse James.
But Jesse James was like, I think he was all about the South, dude, and that's what
Bruh.
scared me.
Yes. Why is it scary? We all know you're racist as
Ah.
fuck.
You know,
my brown skin.
it's
man.
funny because supposedly, the tale that's been passed down on my dad's side is that somewhere in my family, I think it's my great grandpa,
Yeah.
supposedly caught Jesse James.
Oh, he was the outlaw?
In it had him in
Not
jail
outlaw.
for like a day.
Lawman.
No.
Supposedly.
Okay.
We're sworn enemies. No
I
wonder
know,
we met in this
man. Holy
lifetime,
crap.
man. Yeah,
That's
and
wild.
you're Italian, right? Like all the way, or what? What do you?
Half. I mean, it's I'm mostly Italian.
That you know
because
of. You didn't take
I didn't take the
23andMe.
test. I didn't.
Right.
I exactly.
Yeah.
I could be. What did we say before?
Black.
Yeah. He wasn't gonna say it.
I'll let the black guy tell me I could be black.
Yeah, street cred.
Makes me feel better.
For me, that's not street cred at all. I'm as white as it gets.
If nobody ever saw your face and just heard, you'd be like the Chappelle Show. Kick there. What, Harry?
You'll get your street cred.
Yeah, I haven't taken the test.
So
I haven't
your
taken the test.
ancestors caught my ancestors.
Supposedly.
Keenan just spit out his whole fucking club
Yeah.
soda.
Through the nose? They come out the nose?
Through the ass. My ass. This is what it's like on the None of Our Business podcast. Nothing
Oh
but
my
fun
God.
and laugh and all
that's
that.
silly.
Fun,
Oh
laughter,
my God.
laughter all around.
Yes, yay to laughter. Happy Sunday.
Salud.
Sunday fun day. We can't reach.
I can't reach.
I say what to
We got a big
And
table.
you have the longest arms, Keenan. Just goes to show size doesn't matter.
I'm letting you guys do all that banter. I'm not
It's
going
the
to
motion,
get myself in
no,
trouble.
shit.
You can join in as much as you want. I'm as much as the next man enjoy three-way. So by all means.
God. Have you ever had? Have you ever had?
No, I came close. I won't say who
No,
else might have came
never
close.
include names. That's how it works.
No, I know, but I will hint at who was with me in the
on the night in question per se, Your Honor.
no, yeah, it was crazy. It was more like a four-way, but
Damn, Keenan.
but the sad
Damn, Cletus.
it's not a four-way. I have to correct myself again. It was only 2 girls and 3 dudes. That's a 5-way.
Oh shit!
Wait, whoa, it keeps growing.
Yes, it does.
Oh, Keenan.
Quick, dump some cold water on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was awkward though. I mean,
So you were about to get into that, and then you were like, "I
well,
can't do it."
I thought it was
It's a lot of pressure.
Well, see, here's the thing. I think I can totally do it because there's no cameras around. The only thing I'm worried about is somebody busting out their teddy bear on a counter with a little zoom lens on its belly
and
button.
uploading it to X videos.
Or something like that. Because, I mean, for dudes, we're always suspected of being the pervs, the creepy, and stuff like that.
You
No
don't want
one
anyone
questions a
seeing your
woman
action.
to do any weird shit, even though women tend to do a lot of
I've
weird
come
shit.
across weird from all sides of the
Right,
fucking,
you've got pegged many times, so it's just like the style of the way it all went down.
Keenan, this has
was-
nothing to do with the question. Did you do it or did you not?
You know what? Suck my fat.
Well,
dick.
I don't know if it's possible, Keenan.
We're gonna have to try.
Oh God, Steph, rock star extraordinaire. Have
Yes.
you ever had any anything that's a little? I mean, yeah, it's cool. I find that it's actually pretty rare that people actually do get into that.
As an artist, for
No, just in general.
because you're
like, not-
famous.
Not,
He's a
everybody,
famous musician.
Not everybody is actually
Not a
had-
famous musician,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you
Yes.
know,
You were on Glee, and
If we
you
have
were-
anything to do with it, you will be.
yeah.
maybe
You
one
get
day,
invited to all
maybe
the
one
backstage
day.
parties
We'll
and
make
shit.
you famous.
all the orgies.
And it's just Keenan in one room. Like, where's everybody at? That's an orgy. I'm like,
Like,
butt ass naked,
what's
just
that?
waiting for
Rodney
shit.
Dangerfield. The girl told me to come over. Nobody saw him. I went over. Nobody was home.
Yeah. So what does it come close? Like, 3 girls come up to you and go like, hey, come back to our place or something like that.
Hey, you know what?
I will
You don't have to answer
90%
that.
plead the fifth, like my
Okay.
boy Phil here.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
But I will
'Cause you
say
did some
that
Disney stuff.
I've been in situations where girls will be freaking aggressive, like
Yeah.
real aggressive. It's really strange, and I'm
Not
I'm
into
like
it?
a big I'm saying I'm not like a big famous musician or anything, but even just when you're like on stage or you're leading a band or something
Couple
like
of
that.
drinks in, and
That's
they're
what I'm
like,
saying.
"That's
It's-
right,
no,
Stephanie."
It is
stereotype,
true.
right?
It is
So
true.
that-
Like there's something about, you know, I don't know,
Shredding on a guitar.
something that happens to certain, and not just girls, dudes, like anybody,
Yeah,
when they, I don't know, they
the star power.
they take a mental trip and I don't know, they just start acting completely different. And I've had that after shows where like all of a sudden like girls, even guys, whatever, I take it as a compliment.
Hey, I get it.
I appreciate it.
Same here, yeah.
But they come up and they're super forward.
like they never were before. Like
absolutely, something
now,
changes.
Is that like an upsetting thing? I mean, or is it just,
No,
whatever? Like, oh, you never even looked at me that way. Now you're trying to grab my dick. Like, what the fuck?
Why would you complain?
No, I mean, I have to say, like, you know, there's been times in the past where, you know, maybe I had a crush on somebody or something, and you know, they didn't know what I do, and I'm not one to like just try to like boast or like throw anything that I do in
You're
anybody's
not like
face.
me, right? Okay,
Yeah.
You know, maybe they'll come across, you know, like after a minute, they'll come across my music, and you know,
All
maybe
of a
they'll like it,
sudden,
maybe they won't, but like I've had it where like all of a sudden, they start acting different because
Right.
they see what I
it's
do,
gotta
and
be
it's
the
just
worst
like,
feeling, huh?
I mean,
That's
part
what I'm
of me
asking,
is
yeah.
like,
Is
part of me is like, oh, you're kind of paying attention to me now, but
Right.
then the other side's like,
What the fuck?
you're a shit.
Yeah.
Is that what
You're-
lookalike
what
is
the hell?
about?
Nah.
All of
Yeah.
a sudden, I'm this fucking, because I like that song, man.
I love that song.
I like
love
the
that
idea
song.
of like this girl and you were no longer together, and obviously maybe it was even her choice, but now she's like looking at you and you're doing good, but you look at her and she got with someone that's like a whack version of you. Diet Coke version of you.
Right. You know, aspartame and all.
Yeah, dude.
You know,
And you're just like, yeah, he's cool, but you know his shit's whack.
he's not the OG.
No,
is what
exactly.
the theme
Okay.
was. You know,
Exactly. And no, I mean, dude. So, but that being the case, never ever had like a party, huh? Like 3, 4.
So it goes.
I have to say, I have not had the party.
Right.
Yeah, I've not had
Okay.
the
So,
party.
ladies, if you're listening,
He wants the party. Keenan's gonna set it all up.
He's gonna be the one with the fucking teddy bear, the camera.
I am the teddy bear. I'm just
Oh,
like,
God.
No, so it goes. The girls go after what is it? The singer first, then the lead guitarist.
Sometimes
then
it's
the
drummers,
bassist.
It's the
man.
drummers,
Sometimes
man.
it's drummers.
Look out
Okay.
for the drummers. They're the fucking ones that get all the ladies.
Sometimes, yeah, the drummers get it first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The
Damn.
guitarist, haven't you ever seen those memes? Like it shows like the drummer has all the girls, and it's like the guitarist, you know, he's got like 2 or 3.
The bassist
Right,
has like
right.
The
one.
bassist has one, yeah.
And it's like, yeah.
That's which is crazy because the right bass player can turn the entire show around, man.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
for
Well,
sure, for sure.
as musicians, what is it that sets the tone? I always thought it was the
Nah.
drummer that sets everything,
Oh, it's important. They're all important.
the beat and all that
Well,
stuff.
the drummer, we call him the bus driver because he has
Okay.
to keep going no
Okay.
matter what. Like
Okay.
he has to hold us together. Like if the drummer messes up, you hear
Everything's
you hear it right away. You know,
okay.
like the other guys have a little bit of liberty. You know,
Yeah.
we can flub or mess up here and there, and you don't feel it as much. You know, the drummer's a
Oh.
presence. You feel that. Like if he drops the backbeat, you know,
Yeah.
or just like
Hardest working
he's
people
out
in
of time or
showbiz.
something.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like the drummer has the hardest job. I think. You know, he's using his whole
Wow,
body,
Okay.
and he's getting
For like
a lot
40
of time.
minutes straight,
Yeah,
dude. Just-
yeah. And he's getting a lot of times the least recognition. So I you know, I appreciate
Yeah,
drummers. I
okay.
was a
You want to
drummer.
give any shout outs to any drummers that you?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I have a lot of drummer friends.
He's like, I don't even want to. Where do I begin?
Roberto, Gianluca, Fabrizio,
Okay.
The guys.
Till.
Ragazzi.
Oof. Man, I got so many drummer friends, and there's a lot out there that I know I'm not, you know, shouting out right
Yeah,
now.
I get
feel
it. I
bad,
get it.
but
I tried to
holy
write a book.
crap.
And I started doing the special thanks to, and I was like, fuck.
I bet
By
you I
the
was
end of
nowhere
it-
near that.
Yeah,
Special
no,
thanks
yeah.
was.
And at the end, I was like, and I know there's someone I'm forgetting. Someone who likes sausages. Someone who I will not name. Voldemort.
Jeez.
Wasn't even you, Keenan.
No, it wasn't. Did you ever play like Rock Band or Guitar Hero or
Yeah.
anything like that?
I
Did
mean,
that help or not help, or was it fun? Or
your timing has to be good,
okay,
and your
Okay.
coordination. Like, I mean, the concept is there. You know,
Okay.
it's not actually like actual playing, but it's still, you still have to be rhythmic
I
and
fucking hate the
Okay.
F chord,
You know?
dude. It's so hard to play. And I didn't get my strings treated So
Okay.
like as I'm like learning open strings and
Yeah.
like basic shit. But then when I had to do the bar chord, I don't use a capo, right?
Yeah.
Because I want to like learn the bar chord, but I didn't get my guitar taken care of, and so like it's really hard to fucking press
You got to get the
down,
action,
man.
Lord.
Yeah,
But
dude.
do you have the whole callus-y finger stuff?
I mean, I feel like
Uses
I just
lotion.
have permanent, extra moisturizer, shea butter,
Is that what?
jojoba
is that-
oil.
Keenan doesn't know about that yet, man. He doesn't
What?
know about the cocoa butter yet.
My people invented cocoa butter. What the fuck are you talking about?
He's like, hey, I'm not getting into this. Look here, Keenan.
We dip our whole bodies in cocoa butter.
Cocoa
Oh,
butter.
jeez.
Yeah, callus.
No, my
Callus,
calluses
yeah.
are my fingers permanently don't feel anything anymore.
Damn.
Whoa.
Like my fingertips, I think the nerves are dead, the nerve endings, just because I don't really have crazy calluses anymore. Like they
You
feel
don't need
pretty
them anymore,
smooth,
yeah.
Okay.
but they just kind of like naturally harden, kind of maybe like a
Wouldn't that be-
camel's hoof.
You could
That
probably
would be
stab
callus.
someone with your fingers, man.
Damn.
Wait, what?
Camel's hoof. That's a new thing now.
that's
I'm gonna start.
I
using
know
that.
where you're going.
I know. I'm gonna start.
and
using
I
it.
knew that you'd want to go there, so I gave you a little
That's
treat
yeah,
there.
Thank you. Thank you.
I knew that'd perk up your ear.
Teamwork.
Camel hoof.
I was like,
Not-
okay.
Not
The other
toe.
thing.
Not toe. Although camel toes are
Has someone
amazing.
made a song
That's the
about
best.
camel toe yet?
They should be.
I'm sure there are.
I
Yeah.
got the camel toe, the camel
Wait,
toe.
why would you have the camel toe?
Wait, what?
That
It's a
sounded
moose
like maybe
knuckle.
like a Gwen Stefani
Yeah,
follow
yeah.
up to.
What's the guy version of camel toe? What's it called?
Moose knuckle.
Really?
It's called a moose
Why
knuckle.
didn't I know that?
A moose knuckle. Oh,
Thank God we
shit.
don't have video.
Pretty much.
Too crazy for TV, man.
Yeah. Shit.
Oh man. Well, let's
Now I was
just
gonna-
bask in the glory of this moment.
No, I had a question during that whole thing, and we just done a whole laughter. Now I have to move on to the next thing. So aliens.
Oh
no,
god.
no.
He asked everyone he knows about aliens, dude.
No,
I mean, I love aliens. I
Yeah.
could talk about science and aliens and
Well,
you know,
we can,
all that
let's
stuff.
go on the science part. I'm just joking about the aliens because I
Uh-huh.
promised Joe, who's not here,
yeah.
that I
We've
wasn't
been,
going to talk about
we've been
it.
bagging on him about that.
Yeah,
man.
All right,
And
all
I
right.
was, I'm
we
not going
took
to talk about
you know the guy with the crazy hair and like aliens.
from
yeah, dude.
from
They replaced his
history.
face with Keenan's face the other
Joe
day on a
did. Don't say
meme.
they. We all know who the person is. It's not the government. Fucking Joe, little punk ass bitch. Anyway, but we can talk about science. You mentioned sciences, so astronomy, stuff like that, and biochemistry, all that.
I mean, I was terrible at chemistry, but I
Yeah?
loved biology. I loved
okay.
just like aerospace.
Now that's what I tell the ladies, bro. I was terrible at
Biology.
chemistry, but I
I
love
love
biology.
biology.
Hey,
I know that song.
Is that a song, Keenan?
Yes.
Take it
Yes.
easy, Keenan.
Uh,
Take it easy,
Yeah,
Keenan.
Sam Cooke.
Is that it? I don't know
Yeah, I
much
mean,
about chemistry. I don't know
yeah.
much about biology,
Oh,
but
I don't know much about
That's
science.
Yes,
Sam
yes,
Cooke.
okay, yeah,
Sam
okay.
Cooke. Yeah.
but no.
Sam
So,
Cooke,
do you think
man.
your pathway in life could have led towards more science
Yeah.
than?
Yeah, that's what I think. I
Ooh,
maybe
okay.
mentioned to Phil last time we were talking. Is I wanted to get into like aerospace and like engineering on like rocket ships and stuff when I
Nice.
was in high school. Like
Okay.
I was a good student, and I guess I could have really made something with my life if I just pursued academics. But now
As
I'm a starving
mechanical
artist.
engineer sitting across from you, that is 100% false.
Okay. Yeah, I just love that shit. Like,
The economy is a little different than people seem to understand, man.
yeah.
And you
Good point,
like
good
again,
point.
you need to know people in the industry
It's as
to
political
get
as
to
anything
those
else.
to get to those rocket stuff, JPL and
Yeah,
NASA and SpaceX and all that stuff.
yeah.
You definitely need to know someone. I mean, unless you had an 8.0 GPA or some weird shit like
Close.
that.
Close.
Okay, good,
Yeah.
nice.
He said close. It was like
It's
a 9.6.
it's a little higher, yeah. Or if you're
how? Oh wait, you don't have cameras. We can't make
No,
that
you
joke
can't.
happen.
Philly loves that joke, and then the other one about
Oh yeah,
how
whenever he's
long
like, oh, how long is
this
it?
is-
Like, how about like this much?
Yeah.
Nobody who was listening, by
No.
the way, was gonna get that, but that's
No.
okay because we still got more for you.
And when you come on the show, and you see the live show, we'll do it all on our live show. Yeah, you'll see it.
Yeah, maybe we'll bring Steph
Do you
back.
think we should have a live show?
He could be-
You
Yeah.
personally? You think we should
Yeah.
have a live show?
Yeah.
we can do the you know how
How
like
much-
Stephen
how-
Colbert has like the band that plays on the side?
Mhm.
Dude, it'd be dope.
Well,
to
that
have-
was the
Yeah.
idea. Joe, credit to Joe. He said the idea of the whole $30 was that we would have live music, would have acts and stuff like that, and then at the end, the last hour and a half, that's us. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So-
like a variety show.
Yeah, kind of like that. So,
Dude,
and
by the time the light comes through, people don't want to listen to us.
well,
man.
that's the thing is, I was thinking, and I would like to tell Joe this when I had the idea, but he can listen to it on the podcast. Where I thought it'd be great if we had it sort of themed, like where we, my idea that was going through my head was like we enter to do the podcast like WrestleMania. So we make it still kind of like each one gets
Stone
interviewed
Cold
and we're
Stunner.
like, we're talking
Diamond
shit.
Dallas Page,
But
NWO.
yeah, I don't know. It could be fun. It could be something where
Wolfpack.
when it gets to us, it's
Oh my God.
it's entertaining.
I mean, it's already
Brother.
entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go for it, Phil.
I don't know.
Go
the
into it.
rest of the
You're going
fucking-
into character.
Or Ric
He-
Flair.
he
fucking,
was.
woo, dude, that was my dude. Ric Flair, dude.
And
Gold
he's still
dust.
relevant, man.
No. When I was a kid, it was all about the Ultimate Warrior with the fucking all the colors.
You were
painted.
not
Okay.
that old,
Dude,
to be like when I was a
Ultimate-
kid. Ultimate. That's some
Ultimate
80s
Warrior
shit.
was my fucking
That's
jam.
80s, early 90s.
I was Ultimate Warrior for like Halloween, like 6 years straight, dude.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my. I loved wrestling, dude. And then The Rock, when The Rock came through, that's
Nah,
why when I look
dude,
at The
he-
Rock now, I'm like, look at this fucking
He fucking
beast.
killed it. I mean,
Yeah.
in Stone Cold's interview, when he's asked about, who handles that stage the best, he says The Rock on his vocals and getting the crowd
Yeah.
to pretty much do whatever he wants.
I mean,
Yeah.
It
the
was
millions
ridiculous.
and the millions of The Rock fans.
And the crowd would just, that's the best part is when the crowd would join and he knew it. He would
Yeah.
pause.
Yeah.
The crowd would just chant the whole fucking
Yeah.
thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then he'll go in and then he can lose and we would still be
Yeah.
entertaining.
Yeah.
But fuck
100%.
The Rock because he wasn't at WrestleMania 21 at the Staples Center when I was there. So you can kiss my black ass.
Okay. Sound a little bitter about that.
I was.
I don't think he made any promises to you, man.
But he was in LA. He was like in the stadium in like the private booths, whatever. Because he was working on a film. He was doing a film at the time. So
I mean, he
couldn't
probably
be a
had
part of the show.
something
Yeah.
contractual,
Yeah.
like couldn't
Yeah.
risk.
Speaking of which, you said
injury.
you were trying to get into acting, weren't you, for a while?
Yeah, I
You got like an Edward Norton thing
but
going
you
on.
did. You did.
Yeah,
you
I've
did
gotten that.
act.
Thank
you
you.
were in Glee. I mean, that's
I mean, it wasn't. It was. I've done a lot of like music stuff on camera.
no like dialogue.
I was
speeches.
starting to get into that, and I booked a couple small commercials a couple years ago, just like getting my feet wet. I think being on Glee definitely, that's when the bug
Pushed
bit.
it forward,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that's when
Well, it's
I was
good
like,
money.
ooh.
Commercials, man.
Oh, for sure. But I mean, it's not. I mean, ideally, I would want to do.
Movies.
I would want to be in film and TV for sure, like original stories and feature films and things
Just
like
make
that.
our own shit, man. Let me
I
know.
mean,
I mean,
we
this
just
day
need,
and
just
age-
need writers.
Oh no,
I
you
would
just
love
need
that.
yourselves. This day and age, this laptop I'm pointing at, that's your movie production studio now.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
need you don't
I
need
got the
really you don't
camera.
need Hollywood.
You know
You
what I
need
mean?
the internet and a fucking computer or your fucking telephone.
You need writers.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Fuck you, Philly.
you can
I'm
you,
trying
you can get you can get your ideas out for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, can you make a feature film with just your laptop? I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I
But-
can.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's do it.
So can I. But the thing is also
Need extras though.
you well your feature film. Imagine fucking Blair Witch.
Mhm.
That was like $2,000, but that camera and the three friends and the way they filmed it in the woods nowadays can be done on your cell phone.
Absolutely.
Easily, black
Okay.
and white.
You just touched on something
And
that
you
I've been
don't
wanting to
need
talk
real
about.
writers. I mean, you need writers to touch up your dialogue and stuff.
Yeah.
But if it's supposed to be something on that themed of a horror, you can probably have it a whole silent film thing, and it's like a crazy can film noir.
Yeah,
horror thing.
depends what it is. I mean, like
Yes.
Paranormal Activity, the lead from that, he went to school with me at MI. He was in class
Oh,
with
no
me.
shit.
And then the next thing I know, we graduate, and then like a year later, he's got this huge movie, Paranormal Activity, that
Mhm.
costs nothing to make
Yes.
relatively,
Yes.
and it blew up. And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you can, depending on what you want to make, you could
How
totally,
you make it?
Well,
Yeah,
that's,
yeah.
that's because I'm saying a lot of these people that are making it, these Twitch people,
Yeah.
these Fortnite players and stuff like that, like
yeah,
totally of a different genre that doesn't need a
The
Hollywood
economy
studio
is different.
to
yeah,
get
yeah.
that way. Like like I say, you just need the internet and a phone or something that records stuff, and you can make a feature film.
For
Not
sure, for
something that's
sure.
like Warner Brothers shit, but it's a
No,
film
for sure.
film.
You can get your content out now, but that's the thing is, I'm not gonna really go super deep into this, but something to think about is there's so much stuff out now.
Yes, a
Oh, yeah.
lot.
You
It's
know,
saturated.
it's just such a strange time right now because, everybody can publish themselves,
Mhm.
and there's pros and cons to that whole thing.
Yes.
You know, So that's all I'm gonna say about that. I have my own ideas about it, but that's just something
Hey,
to
you
think
want to go,
about.
bro? You want
You
to
want to go?
No. And
You
to
know?
both of your points that you were bringing up, I feel that it's ironic that a lot of our contemporaries, if you will, whoever that may be, whether it's your friends or an actual celebrity, for the most part, a lot of the content that's being made today is distributed to the same age group. But you forget that the reason why MTV succeeded in the way that it did was because they were marketing to a younger demographic, and that's always been the case.
Yeah.
For clothing and for just shopping in general, it's always been marketed to women because they're a bigger market. Even when you're talking about, even though there's like a rise in manscaping and all that shit, like
I've seen those advertisements. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
it's still not a viable market in the same sense of like marketing to women. But
Sure.
the same goes with creating content, which is why platforms like TikTok exist.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
you've got anywhere from 9 to 16-year-olds who are looking for identity.
Yeah.
And if you can provide that and do it in a way that's like full of integrity, you won't feel bad about the fact that you're reaching out to these, because they are the ones who are going to grow. Remember, we grew up with our people. The brands we see today, we grew up with them.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
And that's going to be how it's going to happen so long as entertainment is part of an economy.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's important that we understand that, like, that's who we should be marketing to. But if you see what most people are, like most people in my group, we're all just marketing to ourselves,
Yeah,
to each other.
right.
That's what the
Right.
podcast. We don't market to kids. I don't think we should market to
No,
kids.
well, that's different. That's different. But I mean, like, if you're writing songs and shit like
Yeah.
that, like, you can start there. Why do you think Christina Aguilera for the longest time could have been like, whoa, 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 all that shit, but they asked her to hold back and to make it more conversational so that it could appeal more to kids who can't do that shit, who are still learning. And then later she got a chance to let it shine. The same goes with Jamie Foxx used to throw parties together at his house.
He still does.
Right. And he used to invite a
Which
bunch
we
of
gotta
artists.
go, by the way.
Yeah. He used to invite, of course. So let me call Jamie up. And so he would invite a bunch of people and then get him down to the studio to record a track. One day he meets Kanye West at one of his
Oh, I heard
parties
the story.
and invites him down, and he's like showing him his new shit. And Kanye's like, look, that's cool, man, but people don't sing anymore, man.
Because Jamie Foxx was
People-
going crazy with his singing.
People chant now.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know that comes out of that is she says she wants some Marvin Gaye,
Yeah.
some Luther Vandross.
But he sung it in a different format that
exactly.
Kanye was like, don't do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he checked them until they got it
yeah.
right. And so
Yeah.
this is, okay, look, I don't hang out with a lot of people. I'm pretty particular about who I do, but I once had the opportunity to hang out with these younger, they had funding. They had like first round of seed funding and they were in tech, but they were younger
Fuck,
than me.
I hate
And
that.
I was listening to like the music they listen to. And you know, they're visionaries and they can tell what's going to hit next. And the guy was like, I'm telling you, dude. It's like, I'm totally telling you, dude. It's all about creating a mantra. Like, they play the song and I'm like, I don't get it at all. But the
Okay.
guy was just like, yeah, I'm standing. Like, I'm super exaggerating, but it was just taking one small phrase and making a fucking chant. And then you look at the music that's out there today and it's not too
Some
far
of it's
from the
like
truth.
that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so there's some degree of relatability to what the artist is doing, because there's, as you know, there's music for musicians, and then they're like
Right.
Snarky Puppy,
Sure.
right? And then there's like the other stuff.
Well, but the genre we're discussing, which is art, is so broad and opinionated. We can't really
No, Keenan,
sum it
I
up
am
for
God,
all.
Keenan.
Whatever. But like,
I part the seas, Keenan.
so I listen. I'm just gonna go past some of it. So I listen to instrumental stuff like Bonobo and what do you call it?
It looks like you got nothing else there.
No,
Gas
no.
Lamp Killer.
Not Gas Lamp Killer. Well, Gas Lamp Killer, but fuck.
Yes.
What is the name of that goddamn artist?
Fish.
Is it
Aren't they
Fish?
very instrumental?
Yes, they are. And that's a really good group too. And now I have to go back to fucking Google.
So
God
Live. So
damn it.
Live.
You know what's funny is I was watching.
I don't have a great memory like Philip does.
there was a Mark Maron presentation that he showed up at this, like, I think it was like one of the late night shows.
Yeah.
And he was talking about what life was like before Google, and how, like, if you had to remember something, you're like, oh shit, you would call a friend and they weren't there, so you left them a voicemail.
Oh, that was a funny
You know
joke.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like 3 weeks later, I guess they went to the library for you, and they're like, hey man, it was a Richard Pryor skit that you were talking about. like you have to go all the
Right.
way, like 2 weeks.
It would take
later.
exactly.
Now we got
Mr. Scruff.
Mr. Scruff.
Yes.
I don't know Mr. Scruff.
I can't believe I can't remember it because I haven't listened to him in a while because
It's
I've
like
moved on
Fat
to
Boy Slim, dude.
different genres. No, not at all. This one is more. It's sort of I label the music that I listen to, the ambient stuff, the really smooth ambient stuff, as hotel lobby lounge music.
Wow. Look at
So-
this guy. He's got his own genres.
Yeah, that's the style because I can't. I look it up and they play me some
I
other
can't
stuff.
classify it.
Yes, because some of the stuff will be bossa nova, which is great, but it's not pure bossa nova. There's other stuff that's added into it that makes it more like something you would hear in the elevator as it's going up or something like that, or in a hotel lobby lounge.
Yeah.
So that style. So what you guys are talking about wouldn't appeal to me at all, or you wouldn't be able to put me in that
Any
group.
of those. You listen to like Buddha Bar and shit, huh? Which I love. Like Astrid Gilberto, I think is like one of the artists. I fucking love Buddha Bar.
So there's a huge.
It's got that porn music.
Yeah. Okay, well maybe not that. Maybe not that fully. All right, Philly.
Satan's Alley.
Fuck you.
Toby Maguire. Robert Downey.
That was a good.
That's genius.
Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder. That was
Booty
genius.
Sweat.
So far, that's my most recent best comedy of all time. Like movie, like it obviously historically wouldn't pass like Blazing Saddles or something like that.
Playing the other dude.
Yes,
Everyone gave Robert Downey Jr. the pass, bro.
everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. Well, there was like one church group who didn't. That was on the news and stuff like that. But I was like, whatever.
Dude, he like who else could have pulled some shit
I don't
like
think
that
I don't
off?
think anybody could.
And he didn't break character till I saw the
The
DVD commentary.
He didn't.
He started it off and then he was like, and just like I promised,
He didn't.
I'm about to break DVD commentary.
And they also did they did a side movie too. So it was him, Tug Speedman,
no.
and it was the director, and they did a side B-roll full film of them in the hotel and stuff like that, and going around on set. It was hilarious.
That's incredible.
Pretty hilarious. Yeah.
Damn.
And he played that role through that too.
Why doesn't Netflix have like a fucking special features section for stuff, man? Like it's just this. It's shit.
Yeah.
Like I would pay more to have that.
Yeah.
What do you mean, like that?
Because now you have to buy the DVD. When was the last time you bought a DVD? Yeah,
been a
nobody's
while.
gonna answer that 'cause
It's been a minute.
I knew I was old the day I was still downloading and asked somebody about that. And then they were like, you download? They were like, it's all streaming now, dude. And I was like, well, fuck. And I'm not even old.
But if you don't
Yeah.
have the internet, you definitely have to Redbox it like I did.
Yeah.
Do you use Redbox or?
Every now and then I've
Yeah.
used Redbox.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what was the last movie you saw, man?
Last movie I saw. Man. I
Has
know.
it been a while
It,
since
it
you've been
was
home?
For a while.
it was good. I'll just tell you that it was good.
Okay.
Oh, I saw Green Book.
Green Book. Oh,
What a movie.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
just so impressed by Vigo's Italian.
Yeah. Oh.
Because he actually was
Viggo
really
Mortensen?
good.
Good?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now-
I was so impressed.
Where's he from? Is he London?
He's
Europe?
Danish,
Danish?
American, I
Okay.
think. Yeah,
Okay.
he's American, but he's of Danish descent. But he obviously studied and was coached very well because he plays kind of like a New York kind of Guido Italiano. I say that it's a very
You know
that's a
what's crazy?
very
No.
bad slur, but like I'm Italian, so screw you guys. But no, like I mean I was just so
Oh,
impressed.
shit. What about the Italian of like stereotypical stuff like The Sopranos or Goodfellas? Or
Yeah, I mean
is
that's all.
is
That's
that-
all
is it
New York
good?
Italian,
That's
and,
New
and
York
like
Italian?
it's
Okay.
it's different from the way I grew up. I grew up, like
In Italy?
actually in Italy
No shit.
for a lot of
Sicilian
my
or
life.
what?
Well, my grandpa's Sicilian, and I've been to
Damn.
Sicily, and it's like and I have some Sicilian friends. Like they have a certain dialect, and I was just so impressed by Vigo's not only his New York accent. He's from the Bronx, I think, in the movie, and he really put on a great New York accent, but he also goes into Italian dialect at times
Okay.
and speaks Italian, and it
The
was
dialect
really good.
that would really show he knows his stuff.
It was really
Yeah.
good. I was so
Yeah.
impressed. I was like, holy crap, he's actually hitting it.
Okay.
I feel like I remember a time that you told me you worked at the airport. Is that
Yeah,
true?
I translated for Alitalia.
Yeah.
At LAX.
Damn, that's
Yeah.
taking it back.
So
man.
transfer as in like
Translated.
So
I was
you were
like-
the person on the speaker that would announce to the
Yeah.
terminal?
Yeah.
I thought that was like a robot.
No.
That's a robot.
Yeah.
In my
That'd be-
robot voice.
Unfortunately my robot voice wasn't so good, so I
No.
wouldn't bless people with that over the
So
speaker.
you're the now boarding blah 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 person.
Yeah. I mean, I would do
Whoa.
it. I would do the check-in.
Yeah.
I would do
Now
the business
checking.
check-in, so I
Okay.
got to check in all the
Yeah.
celebrities.
Oh.
And
Did you ever see anyone that come through that you were like, shit, I want to meet him?
Yeah, anybody
well,
stand
I
out?
would meet them because like like I would check them in.
Yeah.
So we'd have
nice
we'd shoot the
meeting you,
shit.
Mr. Cruz. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like it was, like, and then
That's pretty badass.
it was
right?
badass. And then I would, take my little key card, go underneath, the secret airport passages, and then get to the gate, and then I'd board the plane and do all the announcements on the speaker.
Who was like the
Oh.
craziest person you met? You were like, this was worth it. Even if it
Robert
was-
Redford.
Robert Redford.
Oh my God, it's so crazy that you
Yeah.
mentioned him because I just watched All the President's Men.
Oh yeah,
on
what a great
Netflix.
movie.
And I was
Great
like,
movie.
it's about Watergate.
Yeah.
And the two reporters,
Dustin
who-
Hoffman
who-
and Red.
Yes,
Redford.
and the most amazing thing about it is that there's no suspense, there's no action, there's no violent, crazy shit. It's all of them just uncovering the information of Nixon and the scandal at Watergate. And him and Dustin Hoffman are just talk. It's a talking movie. All they do
Yeah.
is talk as reporters.
Yeah.
And you're entertained to the very end.
Brilliant. Well, it's the personalities.
I mean,
that
they're
carry,
brilliant actors,
Yeah.
but like he was legendary to meet him. I mean, a lot of other actors came through. Michelle Rodriguez came through.
Okay.
Oh man.
John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly.
Dude,
huh?
Yeah.
John C. Reilly hangs out at Highland Park often. Were you with him when
Bro.
we saw him? No, it was.
No,
something
but
else, yeah.
you mentioned it. You
He's-
mentioned it.
He goes to
The bowl?
No, the venue, the lodge room, like all the
Oh, the
fucking
lodge room.
time.
Bro,
yeah.
he's always around. I was skating at is it Speed? No, Moonway, the
Skating, like
roller
roller?
skating
Oh,
place
yeah,
on
yeah,
San
yeah,
Fernando,
yeah.
and he was killing it. He was on these skates, just like
Yeah.
flying around doing
Yeah.
these moves. And
Dewey
he-
Cox, bro.
Dewey Cats. I wanted to go up to him so bad.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I couldn't do it.
Oh, okay.
Everything
couldn't
is
do
a
it.
song, dude.
Well, you
Well,
never
then I'm
know.
guilty as
I
charged.
mean, shit, he might come on the podcast. Who knows?
that
Man.
would be
He's
Yeah.
talented as hell.
Legendary,
Like,
dude.
Yes,
like
and he's a
even the-
dramatic. He's a
Yeah.
like a Tony Award winning.
yeah, well,
dude,
because like in the beginning, did you ever see like The Perfect Storm or like
I
some
have-
of these movies
Yeah.
where like he's a serious actor, like
Yeah.
he can do it all.
he
I
played
just,
bad guys before. Too.
anyone who
yeah,
can
I
do
love that
comedy,
guy.
man. Like, dude, that's twice as hard as anybody can be sad.
but not all comedic actors
That's
can
true,
do
that's
the
true.
dramatic roles.
And a
you
rare
know?
one that I appreciate, maybe not people not might agree with it, but Will Ferrell, I think he can do a really great dramatic
What-
acting because I've seen him in 2 movies.
Yeah, that one where he was living on the like front lawn, right?
Living on the front line.
I
That,
forget
What's
that
that
was,
one?
That was a
Ah,
great one.
I'm gonna have to IMDb it.
Everything must go.
Everything must go.
That's what it's
Okay,
called.
okay.
It's
And-
totally good.
Yes, and then the other one he did where he can hear the writer of this book that's about his life.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Stranger Than
yeah,
Fiction.
yeah,
Stranger Than
yeah.
Fiction.
That was good. That
I was
good.
like,
That's good.
"Ugh," like towards the end, it's like,
Yeah.
he kind of got
Yeah.
me a little bit, and I liked it. I think he can do it. And of course, Jim Carrey, with his
Oh, I
Truman
mean,
Show and all that stuff.
he's
Yeah.
one of my top
Dude.
5.
He definitely transferred.
Bro.
Eternal
over.
Sunshine of a
Eternal
Spotless
Sunshine.
Mind, dude.
That movie
Yeah.
was my high school. Like I just was obsessed with that.
Yes.
Uh,
I read the
Yes.
script before I saw the movie.
You
Yeah.
did? Nice.
Yeah. It's it wasn't, but man, reading scripts changes everything about
Yeah.
the way you look at a project. Man.
Yeah.
Well, because don't directors a lot of times they don't throw the script
They
out,
take
but
liberties. Yeah.
there's always there's the director, there's the producer, there's
Also,
the editor,
sometimes the
there's all
script
these
just
people.
isn't that good. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
But they had a great idea. It's like a song, right? Most people write the second verse first. So they'll write something and you're like, no, but there's things that happen before that
Is
have
that-
to be introduced.
Is that kind of true a little bit? You write other stuff before,
yeah, I mean, it'll be different almost every time. But a lot- yeah,
Okay, which is what
like-
you're getting at.
What I'm getting at is most people who think they wrote their first verse, they have all these details and information that is known to them that they forgot to introduce in the beginning,
Right.
which is why people write their second verse first. And that's why when they get to the second verse, they're like, oh shit, what do I write about now? It's like, well, you gotta treat your first verse like your second verse, not go back and then and reintroduce those ideas on a different level. That's what I do. But that's
Well, no, I think everybody kind of has their kind of formula. I just know that my friends and I we'll just brainstorm or just vibe on different ideas and then just try to spit it out. And then we'll kind of figure out, well, what is this? What is
Rearrange
this?
it?
What does this seem like? Oh, hey, maybe that's a bridge. No, it feels more like a verse. No, we'll just get it out. And
so
then
you have songwriting partners.
yeah, I have a lot of friends that I'll write with. Sometimes it's by myself. Sometimes I get with my friends and we write together. Honestly, I like to collaborate in a room with other people. The
Good
energy's great.
energy,
Just
yeah.
because I learned music growing up, jamming with people in the garage. Switching instruments and just messing around and seeing what sounds good. So I like that process. Even in the writing now, we'll just be in a room. We'll start making a beat or play a progression or just hum a melody or repeat some words that sound really cool together, something, and we're all vibing off of that energy, and we kind of like, we'll keep each other in check and like, either curb some ideas or encourage other ideas that we're really vibing with, and there's no like ego or judgment or
That's
like
cool. That's cool.
that's my favorite. That's
Yeah.
my favorite because like you keep it going, you keep it moving, and all these ideas start to come out when you're inspired together. And then sometimes, when there's something maybe really personal, I just want to kind of figure out I want to incubate it a little bit in the bedroom for a second and
where it happens,
get a little
baby.
idea. That's it. That's always, that's where the magic happens.
Incubate it.
Minus the incu. Yeah.
Hey, that's a song waiting to happen. I want to incubate.
Okay.
To the end to the sea.
See, it's hard to collaborate with Philly because he does this all the time. He has to work solo.
Bro, no judgment. They're ideas. You got to put them out. You got to put them out.
Right on the forehead.
I think one of the hardest things about collaborating sometimes is when you throw an idea and somebody doesn't even bother trying your idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how do you diplomatically manage that?
That is experience right there.
Okay, honestly, in my experience, if you have an idea, don't speak up. Don't be afraid to let your friends hear it or ask them what they think. But then don't beat it over the head too much. If they're not feeling, if they're not naturally gravitating to it, if they're not latching on naturally, just leave it be. Leave it be. Leave it be. Oh my God. Yeah, just like move on. Move on. And usually we always have like a voice memo recording.
Oh,
so that if there's anything at all that we missed or whatever, we can go back in the voicemail. That happens a lot. Maybe like where there's all these ideas and we can't figure out which one to focus on first. So we'll have a voice memo. And then if you feel really strongly about something that you guys didn't really explore, just go back in the voice memo later and see if it was any good.
When was the last time we had a song with some cowbell in it, man?
Jeez.
Drop the cowbell, Phil. just move on.
He wants the cowbell.
Sorry, dude.
Bad.
No, man.
Badly.
No. I do think it's easier to work collaboratively. I mean, look at the format of a podcast.
Exactly.
I had a podcast before actually we recorded an episode. I never got a chance to actually put it together, but nobody was listening to that.
And
shit.
I didn't want to join it. So if I didn't want to join it,
And I had like the White House foreign correspondent on. Like I had like badass people, but nobody cared. I get a podcast with these fucking guys and they're
now we're the shit
with no filters and low brow, and all of a sudden it's completely relatable. It was a big lesson. It was
I definitely feel like content that's relatable is gonna fly the most because I think that's what people nowadays more than anything just want real. They want real, even in movies and most of our entertainment. Like sometimes we do want to escape and we want the stuff that just takes us out of reality, but a lot of times we want relatable, and I think that's why like you'll see a lot of artists come up now that aren't your like typical kind of prototype of what a star is supposed to look like and sound like, and like they're a little bit more.
Someone under the bus. Go ahead.
No, I'm not gonna say anybody because it's all subjective. It's all I could say, oh, that person is not physically attractive, but that's maybe just my opinion. Maybe they are to other people, but in the end, it's a beautiful thing that's still there. Sex still sells and stuff like that,
always.
But it's not like. It's not the only way now.
Not anymore.
No. So you don't have to put on those assless chaps anymore. But they look
luckily,
good on
I've retired those.
Oh, okay.
Thank God I don't
still look
have
at
to
them in
bust
the
them out
closet
anymore.
and just like
One day.
Yeah, for the Grammys. I'll
What,
bust
for
them out
the
of the
Grammys?
Grammys. Yeah.
Well,
when you go to accept your award.
But that's a possible foreseeable future, right? Like you're not focused on, hey, I'm going to the Grammys, y'all. But that's something that is an inspiring goal for you, right?
If I can, absolutely, I would love that. I would love that. I mean, it's not. I know some people that their goal is just they need to get a Grammy. They have to have a Grammy. Like that's their goal. Like like it's competitive out here and whatever. I get it, and I'm just kind of like, I would love to have a Grammy. If I get a Grammy, that clearly means that I have done other things.
Okay.
But my goal is not the Grammy.
Yeah.
My goal is the music. My goal is the impact.
Do you feel like you could, or is this? It's a very hypothetical, but the way a lot of people perceive the industry as far as the art world of music is concerned is that people are very can be very hypnotized or told what to do in a certain way. And do you? My question would be: do you feel like you would keep, or you could keep your integrity once you get all these people telling you what to do, piles of money on the table, ladies everywhere,
Cocaine.
shit, like like
Sex.
I mean, and it's all like you got to do what we say, and this is how you're gonna make it, and you're gonna do big and big, and then you see some results, like you're at fucking Staples Center sold out show, and that's because of them.
I mean,
and they're like,
honestly, I always try to keep an open mind and listen to people that are consulting me or guiding me or whatnot. But I've met a lot of artists that you would think, oh, they're just they're just puppets. They've been just told what to do and what to say and how to dress and all. And honestly, I've been pleasantly surprised. And a lot of times that I've met, some big artists, like I get to know them and I realize, man, this is all them. This is all them.
Okay.
And the
real deal.
The real deal. The real deal. And
you don't think you'll ever
You said,
do that?
how can you
like,
you
I mean,
say,
look,
I'm saying, like, I don't know.
I'm just saying, like,
I've seen a lot.
Well, I'm always open to suggestion.
Okay.
Thanks, Phil.
That's my question. That's okay, yes, please. Yeah.
Always open to fill in the blank.
Because that's our stereotype, us commoners, when we see.
For sure. You
art.
think it's
because we come up with that story, the conspiracy
What's
theory.
all this us, Cianan?
Because we're not like you. You're not one of us. No, it's the Illuminatis and stuff like that.
Right. I mean, I think there is a lot of I don't know about all that stuff, but I think there is a lot of suggestion and some development
and egos, right? There's there's a ton of these producer egos that are like, you got to do it our way because we know what we're talking about.
That's a little tricky. Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to think. Like, I don't know anybody specifically that like they did something just because a producer or manager told them you have to do this.
You can't control
typically,
that much.
but there is that suggestion. Like there is like. I know that those people.
If you want your legs to keep working,
you go and do the show for me, bitch. Make my money.
I feel like at the end of the day, I'm completely open to people's suggestions, and if they're the pros, if they're at a certain place,
well, Smokey Robinson,
right?
I'm
gonna listen to him for a sec. I'm gonna listen to him, and if I like what he says, maybe I'll do it.
Okay.
I always have to agree with what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna do something that I hate, that I don't like. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to incorporate it in my own way, but I'm not going to just not give it a shot. I'm not going to not compromise.
Didn't pay him to be on the podcast.
No.
Wow, you did make me a latte. That was my. That was the contingency.
Hopefully it was good. By the way.
Well, suck on it real quick and give us your.
Was it good? Is it good?
Yeah.
It's a little sweet. It was a little on the sweet side.
A
little nutty, but there's no nuts in it. Anyway, like, where the nuts come from? So but the perception is oh god damn it, we did this again. We can't
what's all this week?
We can't joke and laugh when I want to say something, and then it's like it's
gone.
Dictatorship.
You gotta move on.
God, you can't joke and laugh. You're an enemy of Disneyland. What do you mean?
What Disney?
What?
No, I want to get to the real serious. Oh,
I want to get to the nitty gritty
because a lot of people will come to LA as musicians or actors. With this. For me, I'm seeing this googly eye perception. Yeah. And I'm being, California native and lived in Los Angeles my whole life and watched a bunch of behind the scenes, true Hollywood stories, all that stuff, talk and interviews and whatnot. I know without even being a part of the industry that LA is not what it's cracked up to be. And you have to watch out for a lot of people and don't have these ridiculously high expectations, but also, definitely don't shoot yourself too low. But I meet a lot of people who are not from LA and they come here, big hopes and dreams, Hollywood, and get the real hard shit happening within days or weeks to thousands of people, not a few hundred, thousands.
Yeah, I think my biggest advice to anybody coming into the city is you should know why you're here. You should have something to say, and you should kind of have like an idea of how can you do it by yourself. If nobody's gonna help you, you better just kind of have a plan and be able to just do it yourself. I mean, that's harder for actors, models. Like it's
Yeah.
easier for musicians in that regard, you know, because you can control like where you play, what you play,
Distribution,
you know, all that
yeah.
stuff. You can put your stuff out, and you
But
can.
an actor and a model,
Yeah, that's a little
you
bit
need
harder.
The set, you need the photographer.
Yeah, but there is
yeah.
like you should be concentrated on the work, and I mean it's different for everybody. You know, some people, you know, they have other things going for them, and maybe they can skip some steps, but then they better be ready for, you know, whatever else they have to do. Like,
Right.
you know, whereas some people they gotta bank, you know, strictly on their talents, and you know, it's there's not just one way for anybody, but I would say that the thing that helps the most is knowing what you want and knowing what you want to say. That's something that I toiled around with for
I
a
was gonna
long
say,
time,
how'd you
and
get
I
to
didn't
that?
understand.
Okay.
You know, like well, because I think in the beginning, maybe I did have that idea when I first moved to LA. Like you're saying, Keenan, maybe I did have that idea of, well,
I mean, that's how
if
we
I'm just
met,
here,
right?
yeah, we were on, yeah, exactly, we were on this
Okay.
audition it was for Backstreet Boys when they were looking for another member.
You were trying to be a Backstreet Boy.
We
So
were
it was
trying to
a
be a
boy band
Backstreet. Yeah, it
audition,
was. I'm pretty sure that's what it was, and you know, it was in West Hollywood, and we were doing this
Fuck
audition.
you,
and
look at Keenan doubting me.
Judging us.
Yeah, just
judging us.
I would be in that room and be like, "Who the fuck? Get the fuck out of here!"
I should have been in Color Me Bad.
That I believe.
No,
Yeah,
bro.
or the
Like we
new
could have.
Wham.
We totally. I mean, look at a lot of the boy bands nowadays. We were
Okay.
totally like those
We
kind
should
of
have
guys,
started our own
Phil.
fucking boy band.
Shit.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but
much.
no, I'm just saying, like, you know,
Wait, did you just do a like a
Shit.
nice?
that was me. That was you, dude. Yeah, that was you.
Oh,
Keenan?
whatever. Fuck you guys.
Nice.
I only do that when I'm like when
Like
when
Louis C.K.
only when I'm like angry will my ghetto-ness come out of me.
Stupid
Yeah.
toilet. You ain't even shit.
But yeah, all I'm saying is like at the beginning, I think I maybe did have a little bit of that idea, like, oh, I just come here, you know, like somebody will see me, you know, sing and dance, and,
right.
you know, be
yeah.
somewhat talented, and then they'll help me and develop me, and you know, turn me into a star. Like I think that's what a lot of people come here and think.
Mhm.
But it you know, I finally came to realize, like, you know what? Why don't I just do what I'm really passionate about? Because otherwise, you start to burn out. If you're not doing the music that you love and performing and singing what you really enjoy, you're gonna burn out real quick.
Okay.
You know, and at the beginning, I think I was taking too much suggestion. Because I thought, all right, well, these guys must know what they're talking about, so I will do what they say.
Oh, okay.
At the beginning, I think I kind of, you know, I let myself be too influenced. Like I said, you want to have an open mind and take suggestion from pros and people that have more experience than you, but you still want to have some kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like some kind of
core.
Self-identity.
yeah,
values.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay,
You
so core
like
values,
yeah,
okay.
and not even just values, but opinion
Yeah.
and taste,
Right.
your own
your
taste.
take
That you're
on
like,
it.
yeah, because you know, and when I was doing Feel Good, my first band here in LA, and you're
Yeah.
watching us, like that's the thing is like, it was very much what I wanted to do at the time.
Okay.
And I wasn't taking suggestion. And then when I saw that, oh, maybe, you know, like things aren't going as fast as I'd want them. I'm not excelling as fast as I'd want. I feel like when I got in a little rut of, let me try this out because this guy says this, and let me try that because that guy says this. And, you know, after a while, I just realized, screw all that. Like, first and foremost, let me do what I love to do. And that's what I'm doing now. And that's why, you know, it's just completely all come out of my pocket because I can control the direction.
Right.
And I still, you know, I'm working with people with a lot more experience than me and whatnot, and I love their input and their suggestions. But at the end of the day,
It's
I
your
won't do
stamp.
something
Yeah.
unless I really dig it and believe in it. Yeah.
I
So,
mean, dude,
That's cool.
I've been a fan of your music. I mean, you gave me your
He's
first
your
album
first
like at the
groupie. He's a
audition,
groupie.
dude.
Yeah.
I remember it, and when I listened back, as I was like driving, I was listening to it, I was like, "Fuck, this is pretty fucking good."
So
You
Philip's
put that
Lips.
band together fast. What?
Philip's Lips. So were they?
This
Because it
fuck-
looks.
oh,
It seems like he's been on. It seems like he's been on your dick for a long ass time. So
I appreciate
are they?
Phil.
Are they soft? They're very
Keenan,
soft
don't
lips?
be jealous. Don't be jealous.
Keenan's like, "Oh, when's it gonna be my turn?" No, dude. Like, how did you even put "Feel Good" together?
Feel Good. That was
Because
kind of-
that was basically like
What is? So what is?
it was
this
like
feel
it's,
good?
I would say the closest thing that you would probably know a popular artist would be like a Jamiroquai kind of experience.
yeah,
That's the
kind of
group?
like
You were a Jamiroquai
yeah, it was
group?
kind of like. I mean, it was like a similar sound. It was like acid jazz with some pop,
Okay.
Yeah.
like kind of like funky stuff, like
Okay.
you know, like a lot of influence from like Stevie Wonder and Earth, Wind and Fire and
Yeah.
stuff. But you know, that was a band that came together while I was at MI
Feel
with
Good.
some
That's
friends
what it's
there.
called. Feel
Yeah.
Good?
And
Is
then
it, can we
There's still some
listen?
videos
No,
out
no, no,
there.
no.
There's
I mean,
still-
please,
but I
please
won't. I
don't.
won't put it out because now that I've gotten
We
to
just
talk
said
to
it
him
like
more,
8
Well,
times. Like,
I'm trying to push the. I mean,
The new
I
stuff.
just dropped a new
Yeah,
single.
yeah, which is
if you guys
called-
didn't
ooh,
know.
let's talk about this for a second. So,
yeah.
is this single? Wow, wow. Is
There
that
you
no,
go.
that's
That's
okay?
New music.
This is a solo thing, or is this a band?
No, it's a solo project.
Okay.
I do have band members that I prefer to play with if I can,
Okay.
but yeah, this is a solo project called Steph
Steph.
Right.
And what style of music
without
is
the
Steph?
E.
without the E.
Without the we're back at this
STF.
again.
E.
Okay, okay.
Did you get it?
You get it now?
You get it now, Keenan?
He's gonna say
Sadly,
no.
I'm like what? I'm expecting some big like epiphany open, but it's just the way you spelling it.
Right,
Like,
but
Yeah.
isn't-
A lot of
it's
people
not
don't
an
realize
acronym
that.
for anything.
But that's what we were saying.
exactly.
Because people would spell it with an E.
Well, that's how you spell. Like my
That's
friends
how you
call me
pronounce
Steph,
it,
which is
yeah.
why
Steph.
I just go by
never
Steph.
spell Steph with an E.
But STEF, Steph.
Oh, you spell Steph STEPH or like how do you?
What are you talking about? With
Yeah,
you
like,
don't.
what do you?
It's spelled with an E. Even if it's like, let's say you have a friend named Stephanie, a girl named
No,
Stephanie,
you're
PH.
right, Steph.
You
You're
would
right.
use
Keenan
E.
is making
It'd be
no
PH.
sense.
Keenan, eat your wieners. I'll take over.
Hey, dog, can't talk to my host that way.
That was just a test. He's got your back. Good job, Phil. Good job.
No, he doesn't. He does not.
No, he doesn't.
Okay, so the new single you got out is "Get You Good" featuring Shanice,
That's right.
Nice. Okay.
That's the song. That's the jam.
and this is on Spotify.
It's on everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Digital
Hence,
stores.
a new way you're doing your hustling is you're
Mhm.
you're digitally hustling. right now.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm
Distribution,
putting more
yes.
energy into the recordings and promoting them rather than back in the day I'd be on the streets doing the live show, which
Right.
I still love to do. Like live performance is one of my favorite things of all time. But like I said, like we talked about before, in this
Pay to
town and in
play
this
and
time,
yeah.
yeah,
Right, right.
like I just find I would rather get my actual music out there,
Yeah.
and then whoever wants to come see me, they'll find me, and
And you don't hold the content that you have personally. This is me, this is my music. I don't want, somebody might take it and use it for something or whatever.
well, you're saying like
Try
my,
to like remix it or whatever.
Well, yeah, because the fact that you put it out on SoundCloud now, anybody has access to listen to it as many
Right.
times as they want.
right. Well,
Um,
same on any of those
Other platforms,
digital
yeah,
platforms.
yeah,
Like, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm
do you
concentrating more nowadays
Yeah.
is just getting my content out rather than just keeping it hoarded
Which is
up.
something
in
you
here.
used to do.
Okay,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
yeah. I used
Okay.
to. This is. I've finally kind of gotten into a pattern of just releasing content, just getting it out there, not judging it too much.
Right.
I think a lot of creatives and
Perfectionism?
artists,
Yeah.
just like you know.
Don't I know?
Oh, he's talking about all the songs we recorded over the years that we
Just
never
everything
put
you
out.
do.
You got to get it out.
Yeah.
You got to get it out, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not the only
Well-
song you recently put out, right? Because Get You Good is like the one you most recently put out.
That
But
came
you,
out on
You
Wednesday.
had Boyish Looks. Was it?
Boyish Looks came out in May,
Mm.
and then,
Look
or
Alike
no,
was-
June.
Yeah.
And then Look Alike and the remix, those came out like around that was in the winter.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm just now I have some more songs that I still want to release, but
Yeah.
but I think the next thing that I just really want to do is get on the road with my stuff. That's what I'm saying. If there's anybody
Nice.
out there that needs an opening act, I just want to get on the road with my stuff. I've been on the road a lot with an artist.
And you have a tour manager?
No. I mean,
We
you
might
need to
know
book
someone.
the tour. I
You
feel
should
like
probably put him in touch with Greg, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, the chances are
Yeah.
Greg's a good homie of ours.
Yeah.
We don't hang out a lot,
He
but
he books shows
is
at
he
like
an-
the Roxy and
but
stuff
is
like
he
that.
an agent or
yeah,
because
he's a booking agent.
because the booking agent I think is the main thing that helps you kind of
Yeah.
map out a tour, get you into
I
certain
mean,
rooms.
He's run into some pretty like shady people where he created a whole tour and then they like fucking like left him in the
Which-
dust.
and it's the music industry thing. Like, hey.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
he's a
that's
good
not
he's
fun.
a good fucking dude. I have to reach out to him again, but I'll see if I can make the
All right,
intro, man,
all right.
because
Yeah.
that
Thanks,
was.
man.
And then I
Yeah.
mentioned to you the other door in
Absolutely, yeah. I got to come play that.
NoHo. You
I got to come play the other door. Yeah, there's
Mhm.
there's
I'll
some.
record it.
There you go. Please,
Well, I've
man.
been trying to get Philly to record the bands that I know, but he doesn't show up or go to them. So I wouldn't trust the reliability of what he says about doing stuff for you.
He's been
So,
pretty good to me.
Yeah. Oh. I know he has.
No. Fair enough, Keenan. I have many a time said that I'd be there, and I didn't.
Even Joe went, and I was like, "What the?" Joe rarely goes. Joe never goes.
That's true. No, I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it. You know what?
It's all right.
I've got to find a balance.
Awkwardly look at
I've got to find a balance between doing the things that I want to do and doing the things that I know are good for the crew. And actually, me personally, and I know it isn't the soapbox. By the way, we have a section of the episode.
Wait, are we there already?
No, we're almost there.
Damn.
But there's a section of every episode that we do where you have a platform. You can say anything you want for as long as you want.
As if you haven't already. But
it's like a soapbox, like you stand like on an apple box in Town Square.
But we won't talk back or interrupt or.
Well, I might interrupt.
Yeah. But I don't care.
But yeah, I'm currently in the middle of shifting my focus from being focused on myself so much to focusing on how I can help others.
And I've been trying to, he's done that on his own, but he knows that I know a lot of people who are doing a lot of things in LA, and he doesn't like a lot of the people that I roll with.
Well, there are certain people that I used to like.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if I don't like you, that's got to say something, because I like everybody.
Well, I mean, like
you do like everybody.
Yeah. And I have my huge influence of friends doesn't stick only to one area of Los Angeles.
Basically, Keenan just wants to run my life.
Yeah. I'm his personal producer.
I don't know if you can tell, but he's kind of controlling. He's Machiavellian.
Right. Now ask him another question.
I'm only going to ask him a question because I want to, not because he told me to.
That's
Sorry you had to see this.
That's interesting, though. It's an interesting dynamic.
No.
That's why we have Joe in here, because he keeps us all level.
Joe's the proverbial alpha male, but really he's just that regular ass guy.
He's just Joe.
Yeah, just comes in. He's like, "What's up?" Lays
down a fat nut and then walks out. So.
Maybe a line of cocaine. And he's just like, "Where's the party?" He's that guy. I'm kidding. No. It really is a good room, man. But that's why I'm so excited to have you on, man. Because
yeah. What is it that you like? What are your friends do and hang out? Do you have friends like what?
Wow, Keenan.
I mean, you're working so hard.
Like, I see you have eyebrows, but do you also have elbows by any chance? Like, let me clarify. You stick to the jokes. I'll keep the questions going.
I'm letting you two riff. This is great.
But I wish I had a cricket sound. I did have a cricket sound.
So there was a point in time where we were trying to put like
sound
samples in, but then we got so distracted by just
I'm sure.
We're having way too much fun.
I'm sure.
The screaming one was hilarious.
Do you actually listen to any other podcasts?
I do listen to Joe Rogan for sure.
Yeah.
Just certain episodes. Certain episodes. The sleep one was very illuminating.
Okay.
He talked about sleep, like patterns and things.
Well, he was talking to
he had like a sleep scientist,
right?
Yeah, like this guy that came on and talked a lot about that, because I haven't been sleeping too well this year.
Dude, I know.
Mostly because
of touring. But feeling, man.
Yeah, sleep is so important, bro. Like,
do you do like the CBD oils or weed or whatever to help? That I hear that helps.
I mean, it's legal now, so.
Oh wait, I forgot.
No,
your legal contract. You don't. Just wink or nod your.
No, I'm not gonna.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is no.
He has a whole reggae
consenting
album.
adults, right? Remember that?
That's not a Adidas sign. That's a weed sign,
bro.
No,
I will stand by the, the very, very amazing benefits of the marijuana plant.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, I'm definitely 420 friendly. But no, like everything in moderation. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
But
don't smoke yourself retarded. I've seen some shit, man. Some brilliant people just go down in flames.
Well, some people say that weed is supposed to help intelligence grow, like your thought process, and when you're reading.
If you're already
like
smart.
Yeah. I feel like it can definitely get you into some amazing headspaces and just ways of thinking. But like, yeah, it can. I feel like it's not productive. Like it doesn't help your productivity except for certain things. Like I will clean the shit out of my house.
Oh yeah.
If I smoke some sativa, like I will just go. I will go.
Okay.
I'm a neat
until
freak.
the whole place is. Yes, I'm very neat freak.
Oh, you are.
But see, that's the thing is like if I have to be out and about or in public and functional or anything like that, the last thing I need is weed.
I'm
But
so paranoid on
a show, I'll never do a show high.
I don't know how
like
people
that.
do that.
I don't know
Or
how
like
people
they're
do.
mad on crack, not crack.
I know
mean,
people that
cocaine.
have done it, but I do it, but I can't do it.
Yeah,
I
there's
can't do
like
it.
full on sessions where they're passing blunts around.
Oh,
and like,
bro.
Oh yeah.
I get cotton mouth so easy, dude.
Yeah,
So easy.
Dude, we got
I think
it
it's because
last
of the
night.
coffee. What we didn't smoke weed last night, man? What do you mean?
Well, cotton mouth. Well, we
Oh,
had dry mouth. We had dry mouth.
Yeah, that's because we had like an impossible burrito.
We had
an
bunch of
Oreo milkshake.
It was like
coffee. Like
it was a good. Well, what is a day where you come home or you're just in the moment experiencing, going, damn, this is a great ass day. Like,
what is your perfect day?
My perfect day?
Because we kind of had one yesterday.
It was
and
pretty cool.
Yeah.
We went to go see the Jurassic Park at the Hollywood Bowl,
Yes.
like,
Oh,
with the
nice.
symphony and shit.
And we hung
Oh,
out
wow.
prior to that
Yeah,
just
yeah,
a little
just
bit,
talking
and then
shit.
after that,
Wow.
I mean,
Thanks to Joe, who's not here.
yes, thanks, Joe. Thank
He
you,
gave
Joe.
us
We
his
appreciate your
tickets.
support. But it was the whole function
It
of the
was just a
day.
good
The
day.
music we listened to, the environment, the atmosphere, the temperature, the weather, what
Yeah.
we've seen and saw, and it was just like, it was crazy. It was like,
it was a good day.
and the feeling of knowing that tomorrow was Sunday, so we really didn't have
Exactly.
to. No
It was like
care.
the
Yeah.
Ice Cube song. It
Yeah.
was just, wow.
Exactly.
What's like that for
I
yourself?
think the beach. I think like
beach?
like a
Nice.
You
day
surf?
in like Malibu or Venice or something like, and I don't necessarily have to surf that day. Like I love surfing, but for me it's just being more so with friends out at the beach on a sunny day. You know, maybe a little drink here, a little smoke here, or like a pool party or something like that. Just a nice
okay.
sunny day with good food and drink and friends and you know, music playing and just, you know, and then like maybe a barbecue or like in the evening you go out, hit the town or walk around with some friends or ride some bikes. I just like being outside, enjoying everything LA has to offer.
Because what LA can offer more than just Hollywood.
Yeah,
And a lot of people don't really notice or realize that unless they're stuck here.
Yeah.
And then they get jobs and they realize there's, people in other cities.
Yeah.
But yeah. LA has. I keep saying at the end of a lot of my soapboxes, LA has, go out and explore, go out and do some. LA has.
Yeah, Keenan is always
big-ass
doing
city.
something, dude. Keenan is so social.
Always. Philly just invited me to something tonight, which he swears he told me yesterday, but I don't remember. But
My buddy.
what? You can just talk over me, go into it. Piece of shit. You know what? Fine. Finish your shit. I'll fucking.
I do insist, please.
This is my. Oh my God.
Yeah, and we're friends.
All right. Anyway, well, to make my long story short, so we can get to your stuff.
Please. Please.
Damn. Well, shit. You got me.
What were you gonna say, Keenan? I don't know.
What were you gonna say, Keenan?
Shit.
Fuck, Keenan. I invited him to something that I swear I told him about yesterday.
Okay.
Right? Because Keenan likes to tell people in advance, and he hates it when people tell him last minute. I get
Well,
it.
I mean, last minute's okay, but it's just on how you do it last minute. Like if it's an hour before or something like
It's
that.
not an hour before. Keenan. I told you this morning. Anyways.
Oh my God.
Let's not argue on the podcast.
No,
He's vindictive.
No, it was it was just that it would be a lot easier if I didn't say yes to so many things, because prior to coming over here I said yes to hang out with some friends in downtown tonight. So I'm like,
your real friends, huh?
Yes, my real
You
friends.
see, that's what's really going down. But then, my buddy, he went to Lars, to Los Angeles Recording School, the film school also, and he's having it's his birthday. He's a rapper. He's got a little studio up in
I
East
think I
LA.
learned he does some wild stuff. I saw some Instagram posts. Like mad
he's the
stuff
proverbial
everywhere.
rapper, like
Wow.
you know.
Yeah.
But he's a good dude, and he's got a birthday coming up, and there's gonna be some. I mean, it's gonna be just a little barbecue.
It's gonna be orgies.
I don't know about that. But he's also got like his family coming through, so I doubt it's gonna happen.
Damn it, no.
But no, it was just something to do, man. You know, he's gonna be his buddy lives out of the apartments on Vine and Sunset. You know,
I know LR.
You know which ones I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know someone that lives in those.
I don't.
No,
I don't.
okay, I'm sure.
No.
like a bunch of YouTubers living
Wait,
there.
that's where it's at?
Okay.
One of those apartments?
Yeah, somewhere
Fuck,
in there.
Now I gotta go.
And but again, I'm not promising anything. It's just gonna be a couple people hanging out. There's no fan. One of the guys actually that I know he's gonna invite is like part of Jive or like Capital, one of those two labels.
Okay.
He's like an A&R. But yeah, it's just a barbecue. You know what I mean? I was just inviting you because I know that you like to go to music things. So that's why I was telling
Wait, they're
you.
playing music, live music there?
I don't know, but I know they're gonna have food and it's
Dude, I was at
musicians.
some weird shit yesterday when I was waiting for Philly to come to, because I was meeting up in Highland Park. There's this like little area. It's like a small little park right before the entrance to the freeway, like on a hill. And it was like some wild ambient hippie like cult music. Like it was weird. It was like something where I was like, they might be passing around like the red Kool-Aid or something like that. It was trippy as fuck. But it was just some random shit in Highland Park.
I don't know what you're smoking, man, but maybe if it was the yoga spot across the street, that makes sense.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
not the building, but the outdoor area
next to the theater.
No, further down the hill before you get onto the freeway, on 26th Street.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, it's.
I don't know. That's not Highland Park anymore. That's like, I don't know. That's not developed yet. It still needs gentrification.
Oh, shit.
I'm actually a fan of gentrification, believe it or not. I think.
Oh, please let us know how you love white people taking over our community.
Whoa. I'm 61% British Irish.
I know,
So
which makes
you're
this even more
insulting me.
fucked up.
Look, man, I see it like this, right? If you're a homeowner and you're not taking care of your community and you're throwing bags of hot Cheetos all over the floor and devaluing your property to the point where it becomes affordable for somebody to buy you out, that's your fucking fault. And that's just the truth. And I hate to be that guy, but I'm going to have to be because I care. Like, I don't want to see people who've been living there for a long time get priced out, but you got to take care of your communities.
I know.
You got to trim your front yards.
Our own community should be putting up Starbucks and stuff like that and malls and whatnot.
The challenge is that seed capital doesn't exist, but that's for a whole nother reason. And the only way to change that is to do it the way every other challenge community started off, by banding together, sacrificing a little, taking the jobs where you're a tailor or this or that, saving your money, helping other people who come through, giving them some money to help them start up. Like, it's got to be communal. But the Latin community itself, for example, is totally divided.
Latin and Black community. I mean,
Totally
it was the area that I used to live in, or that I'm going to live in. Well, shit, all those areas: Inglewood, Compton, South Central, all that stuff. Used to be a very nice neighborhood. You can tell by the way the houses and the styles that they were built. Even my grandfather, who lives in Compton, still has this really nice 2-bedroom living room den. Looks like something from the 50s and whatnot. But he keeps the lawn and everything, clean. Whereas all the other,
I've been to your house. That block is clean as hell.
Yeah, and it's just
and like you go over to the street, and it's like, whoa.
I know.
Shit.
You kind of wonder, where did things go wrong? You can say drugs, you can say gangs, you can say, but it's like, at what moment it was a gradual thing. It wasn't all of a sudden the next day.
No, exactly.
Guns and drugs and gangs come in, like, we're changing this shit up. But it's the gradualness of how that happened and how people let it happen.
It's drugs and the lack of education.
A lot of people don't want to step up to a lot of stuff either. It's just like, I don't want to get shot.
Like, look, you grew up in that neighborhood and you turned out fucking perfectly fine.
Turned out white? Is that
No. You turned out fine through your own. Look,
I'm normal.
If people were to find out, let's say, about, like, and I'm not trying to glorify my pain or anything, but like, if people were to find out exactly where I came up from, you would never assume that I turned out the way I could have easily been in drugs and gangs and all that shit. But instead, I chose a certain path.
Very kind of racist, even though it's a compliment, but people will look at me and talk to me and go, when they find out the neighborhoods I grew up in, they will go, "Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you lived in Beverly Hills or something like that, or Westwood and whatnot."
You're so articulate.
Not even that. It's not even articulate. It's just the way I move, talk, walk, express myself.
You can tell by the way I do my walk.
It's not the stereotypical, that's a black man.
Do you like mayonnaise in your sandwiches?
Shit. I actually do like mayonnaise on sandwiches.
No.
Yeah, see, I think that's BS. I know plenty of black people that love mayonnaise.
I've seen a few. We're out there. We're scattered around there.
Yeah. A little hot sauce, Undercover Brother.
That was a funny movie, though.
It was. That was a great one.
No, I mean, I think that social media has promulgated so much the extremisms of our society, that we start to think that everyone in society operates along those norms, but it's not true, man. For the most part, I mean, I'm fortunate enough to have a very eclectic mix of friends, and I think I would have it no other way, because you need different points of views to help create the slant on life that affords you the bounty that is a diverse world that we live in. You know what I mean?
Well, I feel like the real question is, how do we change it so that it does become self gentrification? You know, like how do you not force, but how do you get the community to A, start caring, B, after caring, actually do something about it, and then C, keep that effort going generation to generation. Their kids might be like, fuck this, I'm not doing it.
I've got a way to turn it around on you, because you're an engineer, right? So when you have a problem,
don't answer my question.
No, because
go ahead.
We're gonna shift it, right? You're an engineer, so when you have a problem in a faulty system, where do you look to start creating the solution?
The designer. It's always the designer's fault.
The designer's fault, right?
Fuck them.
So
fucking assholes think they can just make all the changes they want. I told them to use a 3/8 bolt, and they used the 1/4 bolt, and now we're all fucked.
Keenan's work always bleeds into the podcast, by the way. He designs roller coasters. Can you believe this shit?
It's actually, kid you not, the clients and the designers, the project managers, they always fuck it up, because even in the engineering world, you have ego, especially the engineering world. And this was kind of going to be my soapbox, but
well,
we're
like there, so we could.
Well, I could save one of them for later, but and
he's got plenty to complain about.
And the guests usually go.
You know what grinds my gears?
The guests tend to usually go first, but
he's just gonna break all the rules.
Break them.
No, it was just normally, even in a company like SpaceX, I know a few engineers there and machinists. And I know people who are in the business side of it, and there's a lot of office politics in the business side of that company. A lot of the engineers are like, they're getting overworked, and there a lot of miscommunication, and they do something one way, and the fabricators and machinists do it a different way, and then the project manager does it a different way, and then somebody who's designing the whole thing has a whole like there's not a one thing, this has to be this way. Even in my company, the project managers would constantly make changes. I even had a little sit down with my boss recently about my frustration, where a lot of people were making changes without notifying me or telling me at all.
So that you could follow the chain of command of where.
Yeah. And they want to make things very strictly in military style. And it's like, you're not doing it right. And every people are getting different tasks and taking over other people's projects and stuff like that. But I see it a lot, not just in that company, but in other companies I work for. People who are not actually making the product tends to put their finger in and say, well, I want it this color, I want it this finish, I want it this piece of metal. And it's like, as the engineer and sometimes the designer, we go, that won't fit into that piece. That won't work that way. That metal will corrode and rust after a week or something like that. A lot of people don't get it. The one thing I usually sum it up to a saying is that clients, for some dumb reason, want you to make a cup with a hole cut out at the bottom of it, but still retain water. That's usually how it goes.
Right. And so, like, just not to get too far away from the point. And the reason I was trying to, because you think in that fashion, I was trying to like say,
how would I solve it?
So because you're asking like, how can we get like the communities to improve? And I'm trying to tell you, well, if you look at any problem, especially when you have a schematic and you're looking at it, and there probably are people who are jumping in and putting shit and not communicating that they've changed things and creating these issues in communities.
Yeah, I know people on my block that wouldn't put any effort into changing anything in the community. Let's say fucking Obama comes in on the street. Hey, we're gonna do some changes. I just need you to mow your lawn once a week. Not like, why the fuck would I mow my lawn?
That's the point I was trying to get, is a lot of change has to come from inside, man.
Yeah, it does. And then that's what I'm saying is like, maybe we're not asking the right questions.
And there are people who will be like, no, it's the man, or whether it is or it isn't doesn't matter, because the only people, or it's like the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, right? You have your circle of influence and your circle of concern. And the longer you worry about the circle of concern, which is external circumstances and factors, you won't increase the size of your circle of influence to one day be able to impact your circle of concerns. But most people, where they should be spending their time is in their circle of influence. Like I can call Steph, I can call Cianan, I can help you guys, I can ask for a meeting. Like those are things I can influence to some degree. But I can't call Trump and be like, yo, what the fuck? Or your rhetoric's kind of crazy. Or there are things that I can't influence yet. So I need to stick to where I can influence. And eventually, when you focus on your circle of influence, it expands. But that is an internal driver.
Yeah.
So people will say, oh, well, I would be inspired if it wasn't for the government, this or that. It's like, the longer it's very Buddhist, right? I mean, the nothing external is affected, man. It's all inside. And
what are you saying about the community with this? Like they should fix it within themselves before they actually fix the community?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people have, because I grew up, man, I don't want to go into it, but suffice it to say that I have just as much excuse as anybody else to say, fuck it. If I'll be damned if I do, damned if I don't. Life sucks and whatever. But, and I don't like to say but, so I'll shift it to and. And if you take that mentality, it'll only get you so far. Mm-hmm. It may not be your fault to have started in the race wherever you started. Yes, are there people who have 6, 7 generations of a family that was here in America and got to build wealth or whatever before you, and you're starting at level 1 where they're at level 7? Yeah. And you can't be mad at them. That's them. That's there. And has there been in social injustice? When has there not been social injustice? That shouldn't factor into whether you can do the best that you can do for you and those that you love on an everyday basis. And yet we constantly find reasons to allow ourselves to succumb to those lesser energies and to use them as excuses for why we ourselves can't be our most excellent self.
Right.
You know? And right. I'm just as victim to that folly as anyone else. But like I try. What happened, Cianan?
Joe just texted me.
What'd he say?
He's here.
Joe's here outside?
Yes. Well, our other host, LA. He sent me a message. Okay.
This is news on the podcast.
All right.
Beep, 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 beep. Breaking news.
We might have to call him and do a, oh no. Okay.
No, he wants to be on the phone? Fuck that, dude.
So he says, this is it's 5:40 right now.
Is it? Fuck.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
At 5:31.
Yeah.
I can read. Come on, just give me a shot. All right. Fuck. He sent a gif of Colbert like crying in tears, saying, "I just feel like my heart is going to burst because it's full of rainbows."
Okay, so what do you guys do in your personal time? Because that
he sent this to the group chat, Phil. And if you paid attention to the group chat,
yeah, I never look at text.
No, he doesn't. And then he says, "Is at 5:31?" He says, "I'm home," and then after that it says, "Barely missed the pod."
Oh yeah, let him. It's cool, dude. We're about to wrap up in a little bit.
I know, but does that mean he was trying to come over here and do it?
I don't know, but let him rest.
Should we have done this later?
No, but he can come hang out.
We got to do it over, guys.
Are you
the whole thing?
Whole thing.
Go.
Whole thing.
And look, this is on recording, so he's gonna hear it and probably say like, "Fuck you, Philly."
I know, probably will. But so what is this?
Let him rest.
Are we at 2 hours?
We're just about. Yeah, so we should probably.
I don't know. I want to give our guest
the soapbox.
As ample time as he wants to get the feedback from us on any, because I'm curious, we never really have our guests ask us questions.
Oh, but I mean, I don't know if you got.
We got to turn the tables.
Yeah, I mean,
Steph's it's cool because we don't have to.
This is not really meant to be an interview per se. It's just like
we're just having a conversation.
We're just talking about anything.
Absolutely.
A lot of times, and I've noticed this, that a lot of times guests will not bring up questions of their own as a group open discussion or towards one of us.
Right.
Well, that's because nobody cares about what we have to say.
I don't know. But is there anything that was on your mind that you might want to get a thought and opinion from Philly or from me or something like that?
Well, I am curious. Like, so you grew up in LA?
Yes.
Cianan?
Yeah, I was born in Oakland.
Okay.
And my family moved down here when I was like 6 into Linwood.
Okay.
And then after Linwood, we all moved to Compton.
Okay.
Where some of us still reside. And then after Compton, we moved to Inglewood.
Okay.
And then I was there for about 11 years, up junior high to high school, and then South Central currently for about 15 years from high school till now.
Man, what was it like in the 90s in LA?
During the riots? I drove through the riots several times. It was one of our favorite mattress place or bedroom furniture got burnt down. We're really
Wow.
sad about that because they were very nice people.
Wow.
Um, I do remember having to stay inside the house and not being allowed to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And we had to take strict roads to go straight to school.
Yeah.
And we could see the fires and stuff like that happening.
That's
We had to
crazy.
call and make sure certain our family members, because the famous scene where the guy pulls someone out of a truck and beats them down in the
Yeah.
middle of the street.
Yeah.
That's Crenshaw and Florence,
Okay.
which is not that far from where I live currently now, and then my grandmother and their family at the time. So
Wow.
it was wild going down. It was like kind of like driving through a war zone or something like that. And
Yeah.
I did at that young age was questioning, and I forgot the response of my mother of why we were demolishing our own neighborhood for something that white people did. It was really perplexing to me. I was like, I was kind of expecting, Beverly Hills, which some people say certain areas were on fire, but like all of Beverly Hills, Pacific Palisades, Malibu, Santa
Right.
Monica,
Like,
to be
why
up
was
in
it all
flames.
going on
Right.
in those neighborhoods?
Right. And at that young age in junior high, I was asking
Right.
that question, but my mom was like, I don't know.
Phil, where'd you grow up, Phil?
Where did I grow up?
Yeah.
I grew up. I kind of moved once every year of my life from the age of 8, so it's
But,
kind of
like,
hard to
what-
say.
Like around
my
the States?
origin, no, like around LA. But,
Okay,
but yeah, and then there was a period where I lived in San Antonio, Texas.
Okay.
But for the most part, I started off actually right there. I don't know if you know University Senior High School, the Uni High. It's in West LA, Barrington and Wilshire.
Okay.
Like around there. I started off there, and it seems like it's a nice neighborhood till you realize it's run by like a lot of Latin gangs or whatever. But I was fortunate that my problems were more like I had like parents who like to hit with belts and like shit like
Okay.
that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
while I didn't have neighborhood problems, thankfully, until I was in high school and I was coming from like Montebello, East LA, all the way out to West LA to go to
Yeah.
high school.
Yeah.
I can't say that I ran into the whole, so like that's crazy. I can't imagine what it's like to like drive through like with your parents in the car and
As a kid,
yeah,
seeing the
and
fire,
you're
buildings
seeing
burning
fire
down.
and shit like that. Like I can't even believe I've never even asked about that. For me, it was always avoiding the people who were like, "Hey, where are you from?" And and like you clearly aren't a gangbanger. You're not
Right.
wearing anything that's like that. But like you could be walking up a hill and this truck will try to run you over and like they'll claim what gang they're from, and you're like, okay,
Wow.
and they're like throwing fists, like they're gonna
Yeah,
hit you just
yeah.
to intimidate. Like the
Yeah.
intimidation factors. You'll have somebody who just asked you yesterday if you were gangbanging, you tell them no, and they'll ask you again tomorrow, and they're like, you literally just asked me the other day, man. So
Wow.
intelligence may not be high on the factor there, but suffice it to say that I think being able to move around as much as I did from West LA to East LA to like I don't know El Monte to then San Antonio and a few places in there and seeing
Yeah.
all the poor neighborhoods. I've seen a lot of it, but I got lucky, man. No matter how like I didn't have my parents around or whatever, but I got lucky that I always had one best friend
Yeah.
who somehow they never asked me any questions, let me hang out with them all the time. Their
Yeah.
parents never asked me any questions.
Yeah.
It really sucks, man, but like I somehow got lucky.
Yeah.
I can't stress it any other way. For all the pain that I may have had, I could have looked at that and complained about it, but I just decided, no, I'm just gonna focus on this and make a friend and be a good person. Never had any problems,
cool.
mostly because I just fucking kept to myself. I was a good person. I tried skateboarding, that didn't work out. It's fucking hard.
Mm.
That was your
Yeah.
anti-drug, but not
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. I mean, there was still a lot of fights and like involved, and there was always
Yeah.
that coming of age where you gotta, or become somebody, or you become somebody's somebody, or whatever the fuck. But no, man, I definitely I've seen guns, drugs, and people all up into that shit.
I mean, you guys grew up in LA, basically. You
Yeah,
both
yeah.
did.
Mhm.
That's I grew up mostly in a bubble. So
Arizona,
yeah.
what's that like?
Oh, it was amazing and also very terrible because, you have such a closed-minded perspective until you get out into the real world. It's just like, I really wish that I would have been out here, honestly, just to kind of grow up with more diversity and kind of, gotten a taste for how things really are. And then, I mean, I moved out at 18, so I was still
Yeah, you
really
took the
young,
chance, yeah.
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, and we traveled a lot when I was little, back and forth, from Italy to Arizona and back. But see, Italy is also kind of a bubble. Like it was much more metropolitan,
Mm.
where I was in Milan, and I would have like a city life with my friends, but it was still very, very white and very bubble, very, very conservative and not a lot of diversity and, uh, exchange of different ideas and religions and lifestyles and stuff. So I just feel like, yeah, like, I don't know, maybe I would have, had a lot more to say and had a lot more opinions about things at an earlier age if I was exposed to certain things. And but then again, there was also the positive of that is that I grew up, I had an amazing upbringing, like just like a picture perfect upbringing. I'm not that artist. I think I've told you before. Like I didn't grow up with a lot of struggle,
Mm.
but I did have amazing parents that taught me the values of respect and integrity and always taking somebody at face value and just I think, that's something that I'm super grateful for. That's why I feel like I'm very tolerant of most people because everybody has a story. Everybody has a unique story and background. And so, I try not to be quick to judge anybody. And that's just simply because of my parents' influence. But real world experience and actually, struggling and being with people that are going through certain things, whether it's, civil rights struggles or, poverty or discrimination or whatnot. Like I wasn't really around any of that when I was growing up, So until I moved here to LA, and then it was just like a super eye-opening experience.
Wow, okay.
And I changed a lot when I moved out here, and I'll go back home to one of my homes. I'll go back to Arizona and I'll talk to maybe some friends from middle school and high school that never left. And it's funny how their head is still in that bubble.
Whoa, okay.
They're still stuck in that.
You can see it.
And that's when you realize, oh, no wonder Trump is our president.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
and I'll speak openly about that. I think, when you're on the coast, you're also kind of in a bubble because you wonder how is all this happening in the States? And then you go to the flyover states
Yeah.
and you realize, oh crap, this is all there's a whole conditioning over here.
Mm.
People really are like this. And sometimes maybe it's not entirely their fault because this is what they're being fed. This is the reality of this is their reality,
Like you said, didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, that heavily needed
You know?
of diversity in a lot of places.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like human nature, unfortunately, many times it lends itself to fear what we don't understand. And so if you grow up, like I was in a school with 2,000 people, maybe like 3 black kids,
Mhm.
it's like naturally, because it's so foreign to you, like, somebody of another culture, a lot of times, our nature is to kind of to fear it and not really understand. But then, you come out to the melting pot or you go to a more metropolitan area and, you realize, people are people.
Right.
Everybody's the same. Everybody's just trying to make it in life. We're all trying to do the same thing. And that's just, I feel like that is necessary for a lot of people in this country that should be forced growing up to have to study abroad and travel and go spend some time and not in like nice other places. Go to some third world countries and get some real experience.
And like the people who clearly have never worked a service job.
Yeah.
Who are shit to people who are in service
I
jobs.
was in service my whole life up until finally not needing the part-time anymore. But like, that's why it's like, yeah, people don't understand.
Exposure,
People don't understand. Like that I think that was a lot of what kind of like gave me, kind of a perspective on, okay, I didn't grow up poor or anything, but I know what it means to work a minimum wage job and what the value of money is. And, I don't judge anybody for what they have or don't have.
Nice,
No, I really
nice.
appreciate that you decided to take the conversation there, and that you invited that and that
Yeah, you
it went there.
Made it real now. We can't, you can't joke it or anything. It's like,
No. I
It's in
think
the corner.
Sorry, Keenan.
this
Damn.
might go down in history as one of the better episodes ever so far,
Alright.
only because of how real you decided to make it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But we
it's
do
just-
love all our other guests that were here and like
We don't
talk
have to defend it, man. We don't have to defend it.
Damn.
If they listen to this, they would understand.
Oh shit.
No, because it always gets real, but that was really real, man.
No, it was,
that was a good
And-
moment.
Keenan's gonna take credit because it wouldn't happen if I didn't ask you.
Oh, by the way, if you don't know yet, if you listen back to a couple episodes, Keenan always looks to take credit.
And I have to do it on every episode.
In
Okay.
fact, if he
All
books
right.
you a
All right.
show 6
Thanks,
years later, he'll be
Keenan.
like, remember when I booked that show for you?
Thanks, Keenan.
Yeah, hook me up with that orgy. All right. So on that note,
This changed
Um,
everything.
that's how I bring it back away from
Bring it
that.
back.
I'm all about the happy
Reel it in.
smiles.
Reel it
Yeah.
in.
I would say I would joke on stuff that you're totally not to joke about, just so the vibe in the room
Somebody's
isn't so
gotta do it.
dismal.
Somebody's
Okay,
gotta
yeah.
No,
do
not
it.
just dismal, because on a previous episode you'll find out or listen, you'll hear that I cracked a joke on my father who passed away just 24 hours prior,
Oh, geez.
and I cracked a joke just because it was just so down.
Yeah.
Keenan
but
knows how to bring it back.
But I knew it was funny. I know it's funny. I know he's laughing about that. But anyway, so this is our soapbox.
Okay.
He
Our soapbox.
clipped it. He
Soapbox.
clipped it like if he was directing a movie.
Right.
Scene 2, take 1.
Or how Joe would say it. Now we're into our soapbox.
now,
Now, ladies and gentlemen.
business soapbox.
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun.
And Philly would usually do the explanation, or
No,
do
just
you
in
wanna
general. Again,
both
it's
of
a
us?
soapbox,
Yeah.
and we kind of had like a
little bit of
three-way
soapbox,
soapbox. It was
yeah,
like
we
a
did.
soapbox orgy that we
Yeah.
just did.
Oh, hey.
But
first
suffice
orgy.
it to say that you now have the platform, Steph,
Yes.
and it's truly earned. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about right
Thank
now,
you,
man.
bro.
Anything you want to do.
No reciprocation from me or Philly. As a matter of fact, I will suck on this wiener while Philly
Oh
will do
God,
something
he's
else.
talking about the food that he ordered,
food,
guys.
yeah.
By the way, he's not touching he's not touching me. He's not touching Steph.
Unless you want to be touched.
Oh, no, I don't.
I don't know. I thought he was playing footsie under the table.
If only my legs were that long. Or it might not be my legs.
I was waiting for that. As soon as he started, as soon as he said the word long, I was waiting for the next part.
Okay, side note.
Oh, here
Phil
we
and I had
go.
a great joke about the length of my dick while I was sitting in his car in the passenger seat to be able to like open up the glove compartment.
Like smelling
And
peanuts,
sniff-
like an elephant fucking trunk.
And I was joking about how I used the side airbag as a pillow.
Oh my god.
You can't get away from us. Man.
Okay, so
I think that just reminds me. I think there's a Chris Brown song where he says, "My dick can change the light." How great would that be?
dude,
how
it would
great
save
would
me
that
so
be?
much time.
Hell yeah.
I'm thinking like, does it glow or something like that?
Dude,
Is it
it's got to be radioactive, bro. Nobody is. Well, I don't know. I've seen some porn.
But yes, okay, so soapbox.
It's your table. It's your spot.
I
It's
will
a
spin this-
spotlight on
oh,
you.
sorry, I
man.
didn't
Yeah,
spin
it's
around.
cool.
No,
It's cool. It's cool.
This is my soapbox.
Yeah, you can do whatever you
My
want, man.
soapbox special. Well, obviously, I have to tell everybody about the single that's out. So if you haven't heard it, it's called "Get You Good" featuring Shanice. I just dropped it on Wednesday. If you like it, please share it with your friends. Really appreciate it, guys. It's, I guess, technically my third single. And yeah, I'm really stoked about it. I love it.
Spotify, all platforms?
Spotify, Apple
Under
Music,
STF?
iTunes. STF is what you got to type in. But you can say Steph to your
Right.
friends.
Right.
That's what my friends call me. Other than that, man, if you guys haven't heard the new Snoop Dogg album, amazing. Amazing. And there's one of the singles, I think it's the first single, One Blood, One Cuz, about Nipsey Hussle. It's, I got goosebumps. Like right when I heard it, just goosebumps instantly. It's amazing. I met Nipsey when I was working at Republic of Pie. He came in. It was a very nice gentleman. Yeah.
Stand up.
Ordered a cranberry scone and a lemon ginger tea.
Hey.
The last thing I felt like a G would order,
Yeah.
but it was he made it look hard, that cranberry scone, you know. No, he was cool. He was really cool. And yeah, if you haven't heard the album, go listen to it. I love it because he's classic Snoop. It doesn't seem like he's sold out or bought into, oh, let me try doing what the kids are doing nowadays. Let me just do a trap beat or something. No, it sounds like classic Snoop with some modern production twists and a lot of cool features from new artists. but it sounds like classic West Coast Snoop. You just put it on, you're like, oh yes, this is amazing. So it's called, I think it's called I wanna thank me or something like that.
Oh yeah, there was
Let
a,
me
there was
thank
a, there
me
was a
or
social
something
media
like
video.
that.
Because when he accepted his award,
with
he
Quincy
said,
Jones,
I
right?
like to
Yeah.
thank myself.
when he
Yeah.
did his handprint on the Hollywood,
Yeah.
he was asked, they give thanks. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
He first said, "I want to thank myself."
Which is pretty gangster,
It
yeah.
is. I mean, yeah. So say what you will, but he's a legend, and he even sings a little bit on the album. You know, like he's got a decent voice, and he's singing some melody. Like you know, it's not like
Drake.
Pavarotti or anything, but it's like, yeah, I'm impressed. I got to give it up to him. How old is he now? And he's still creating great stuff. Like there's some people that are trying to put out stuff still. It's like, sorry, man, your time has passed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I appreciate it, but it's not. You know, I'm not vibing. It's you're not
Hip.
putting that gold out anymore. But like Snoop definitely is. Yeah, I was just super impressed. So, anyways, other than that, soapbox. What else can I say on a soapbox? Man, I'm thankful for you guys. Thanks for coming out. Those videos were sick.
Thanks,
yeah,
man.
we got to do more of that. So, anytime you want to come out and film, bro, those were great.
Just hit me up.
Those were great. And I think
really.
I think I'm gonna start doing actually, bro. You got to come over, and you got to come over. And we got to do some. We have, this nice little house studio vibe. I want to do some shows from the living room, kind of,
Okay.
so to speak. And I think with that thing you got there, and
Yeah. And his energy.
Keenan's banter,
Yeah.
Just put it away.
it'll be
Keenan.
fun. Put it away.
I'll just put my
That's
sleeves
it.
over it.
All your shirts have to have 3 sleeves for the third arm.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh man.
That's it.
All right.
That's
All
no
right.
doubt. No doubt. All right, Keenan, you're up.
All right,
man.
for my soapbox goes out to all the ladies. And it's about mansplaining. Yay.
Dun, 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 dun.
Mansplaining does not happen to just you now. And I am living fucking proof. And it's a particular category. So I think needs to be a definition of understanding if a guy's mansplaining or if he's just a straight up clueless dick who doesn't really want to take the effort to care. He just wants to talk and lay out his bullshit knowledge, because that happens to me all the time. Heavily involved in the engineering and science community, especially people in the hobbyists and machinists. For some reason, people who are machinists or hobbyists or work on cars or build computers or whatever, something like that, it's like a special enthusiast build of some sort, always has to lay down some sort of factual bullshit that you didn't ask for to make whatever you're making better or up to a certain standard that's supposed to be universal, but it's really different per person, per item, per product. And it definitely comes off as some guy, which is usually a guy, giving you information that you don't want, which I believe is somewhat close to the definition of mansplaining. I never looked this up on Google, but that's my take on it. It's
Did
like a
something
dude who
personal
tells
happen?
you something.
Did something personal happen?
Heavily, twice. I'm getting to it. This is a whole buildup. My anger vent usually has a story to it and a lead up.
All right.
But a lot of times at work, I'll get information given to me from some fabricator or welder or machinist explaining to me why something doesn't work or doesn't fit for a very extended time, even though I spent hours and had other influences tell me how to build something without them ever going to the fabrication department. And then here I am looking like the idiot because I'm the one that handed over the drawings because it has my name on it. So, but to relate it to mansplaining is outside of my field of engineering and sciences. Recently, I post pictures of me fixing my brakes on my car. I can repair the front disc brakes on my car. Fairly easy. It only took like maybe 15, 20 minutes. I've done it many, many times. But then once I post it, sure enough, 2 dudes, and probably more, I haven't looked at my phone, already saying, did you do this? Did you use this material? Did you use this? And I was like, what? In mine, I was like, I never asked for that shit. Why are you giving me this information as if I have no idea how to put a fucking brake pad on my car while I'm showing pictures of the process of me replacing it and taking it off? It's like if I looked at a wrench and thought it was a hammer and just started banging on shit. And it was weird to one point. And it leads me into something else where I don't know if you two have this experience, but there's people on your Instagram or Facebook that you wonder, why the fuck are they on your Instagram and Facebook? You don't like them, yet you don't delete them because for me, I'm lazy, but I really don't like this dude. I knew him in college when he always bullied me and put me as the butt of his joke, and in a way that was more insulting than rather of a friendly band like Philly and Joe. And it's like, I'm thinking to myself, why do I have this fucker on my Facebook? I should just delete his ass and just get him out of my life, because he wound up sending me a 5-step diagram process of how to take off a brake on my car and replace it.
Oh, he clearly cares.
Like
he cares.
You already saw me replace it and put my tire back on, and it's like, and it was and then several others would tell me because I showed a picture of me buying a brake compressor kit or device where it pretty much just squeezes the I forgot this cylindrical tube that usually where the pressure of the oil pushes it out so it can compress the brake pads onto the disc.
Sure.
And I'll show it to you anyway. But you have to push that in because when you're putting your foot on the brake, and you pop out the brake pads, it's still in that position. So you kind of have to push it back because your brake pad shrunk as it's been grind down.
Yeah.
And when you, but the point is that I bought a device to help out with that a lot easier instead of trying to use my hands, which you can do if you can get it right. And they wound up saying, oh, why don't you just use this tool and it's free? As if that was just lying around and I can just pull that out of my ass and use it. It's like I went to go buy this device because I knew that's what it was meant for. And I didn't have this other device.
Yeah.
And everybody's saying, oh, just use this because it's cheap and easy and it's free. And it was just no clue of what my situation was, as if I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
But when I hear stories or terminology like mansplaining, it definitely leads towards the female department.
Sure.
And I'm here to say, ladies, you're not alone.
Guys will do it to anybody.
They'll do it. Anybody in the field of an enthusiast who likes to build their own stuff will mansplain to you regardless of what the fuck it is. And I try to make sure that I don't mansplain. At least I try because I get it to me all the time. Like, I hate these kind of people. I hope I don't do this to you. But if I do, mush your hand in my face or something. Let me know that I'm doing it because I hate that. So my soapbox is fuck dudes.
Wait, what?
I know, that was short. People who mansplain, it happens to everybody. It sucks that it happens to women all the time, but I am one of those rare breeds of people that have a bullseye on my forehead where somebody love to just tell me information I never even asked for.
Man.
So yeah, I'm here with you. Go out with me. I'm single. Date me. I won't mansplain to you.
Somebody, please.
But yeah, but I fixed my car. I fixed my brakes. Yay,
Nice.
it's all done. It was great. Had a great day with Philly. I really want to see your show live. So whenever you do a show live, if you're looking to do a show live, and you don't know where to go or don't know what to do or want to have one set up, let me know.
Let's do it.
That's it. I had so many stuff. I'm gonna save it for Joe when he gets here and whatnot. And we'll talk. But I had other soapbox that I like. I want to keep that as my main one. So mansplaining. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Huh.
All right.
Okay, so you basically were about to do another
I was
soapbox.
leading to it, but I
just-
stopped myself. I was like, wait.
Gives no fucks today.
Yeah.
So you see what Keenan was trying to say.
Your soapbox is going to be basically
One
the
big
review
old
of
mansplain.
the mansplain of his.
No,
You
no, no, man.
I'm gonna push this into your mouth.
No. So to piggyback off what I was saying earlier, that'll make that my soapbox since I didn't prepare anything and I never
Don't
do.
say. Oh
I
my
know.
god,
I never prepare
every
anything.
fucking episode.
But suddenly something insightful comes because it's just how I roll.
Okay.
What I will say is this though. as far as I'm concerned, I'm beginning to see the value in putting my attention on other people and what their dreams are and what they're trying to achieve. It's not that I'm like making myself the second fiddle, and I've always been careful of making sure that I'm not putting others' interests before my own to where it hurts me. But I do think that too many people, and this is of course an opinion, spend way too much time thinking how they can get the best for them and ignoring the values and the value earned and the benefits of being able to collaborate, if you will. In a sense, the most successful collaborations are the type that that it understands everyone's ambition and goals, and then finding ways to support those ambitions to be realized through your own efforts as well. So another way of saying it is, in going out to get what you want, try to learn the people around you, try to learn about their goals and see how they fit into your picture and how what you're doing can help that become a reality too. Yeah. Because the more I shift my focus to that, the more I'm beginning to see that it's paying off. And you can't just do that with anybody, I'll be honest with you, especially when it comes to working with creative people. Part of my gripe for a long time was that there's a certain work ethic that doesn't exist equally amongst everyone creative. And so you know, people who don't have any of their own work ethic will never respect yours. But yeah, try. If you're used to being the person that thinks it's a cutthroat world out there and you gotta do it, sure enough, it is. And there are those people. But when you're doing the marathon, you know, shouts to Nipsey kind of thing. Mm-hmm. When you're doing the marathon, it really is better that you are someone that's looking out for others just as much. Otherwise, you will spend the rest of your days in a cutthroat environment designed by your own hand. Yeah. So that's my soapbox. For sure. Yeah.
Work on it.
And of course, again, I didn't prepare it.
Yeah.
With that, it's the end of the show, guys.
Yay.
I hope you had a great time. Steph,
Special
thank
guest,
you so
Steph.
much, man.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Show.
Always a good
this
time.
has been episode 30 something.
38.
38.
Nice.
38.
38.
Yes,
38.
all of season 1 is,
and we've got 8,000 downloads already.
All right.
All of season 1 is on
Netflix.
YouTube.
No,
on
kidding.
Netflix. No, it's on YouTube.
I wish.
Season 2 will start to be catch up. Eventually, then we'll be putting clips of like the funniest things we said and silly shit like that, and great lines from great guests. It really is
the kind of podcast you throw on when you're in traffic. I'm just letting you guys know.
Wherever you're at. And you don't have to listen to the whole shit in like one sit down. You can stop it and re-listen to it at work, or hear some.
When you're taking a shit, like Cianan does.
I take a long shit. And if you listen to like audio books and you listen to people's interviews, some audio books are long as fuck. So it doesn't matter if it's hours or whatever. Just
it don't matter.
Yeah. But thank you so much.
Thanks for coming on.
None of our business podcasts with Philly and Keenan.
And we were
Joe
going,
will be back
we were
next
gonna
week.
we were gonna do a thing, huh? That's right.
You wanted me to record?
That's how we were gonna. Yeah, Keenan.
Go ahead. Okay. Everybody get butt naked.
So I'm gonna beatbox, and if you want, just push the record thing.
So push the record, and I just follow whoever.
Yeah. So I'm gonna beatbox, and if you want, you can like do a little riff or whatever, and then
I'm
I'll
take my headset off and pull back so I can catch both of you at the same time. So I won't be.
All right. I got you.
I was gonna say hi.
That's me getting into the
So I'm gonna press record. It does all this, so it's better to keep it like this. Right?
Yeah, because otherwise it's for the stories. Okay. All right. No pressure. All right. I got you, Steph. Hold on.
Hit it, Philly.
Hey, there you go. We can sync that up.
Yeah. I'm gonna drop a little something about the late great Prince. Yeah. Dorothy was a waitress on the promenade. She worked the night shift. Dishwater blonde, tall and fine. She got a lot of tips. Yeah. I ordered. Yeah, let me get a fruit cocktail. I ain't too hungry. Dorothy laughed. She said, "Sound like a real man to me." You're kinda cute. Wanna take a bath? A bath. Oh, I said cool, but I'm leaving my pants on, 'cause I'm kinda going with someone. It sounds like a real man to me. Mind if I turn on the radio? None of our business. Oh, favorite song, she says. Henry Joni sing, help me, I think I'm falling for rain. She says, who is ever calling? Can't be as cute as you. Right there and then I knew I was through. Dorothy Parker was cool.
Hey, I fucking
My
love
guy.
that.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite. My guy. I think I skipped a bunch of lyrics, but
No,
whatever.
that shit was dope. You heard it here first.
I can't remember them all, but yeah.
Smooth in the motherfucker.
Nice beat, man. Nice beat. Yeah.
Peace. Oh, by the way, suck your man's dick. Eat your girl out.